It seems to be working.
Alright. Confirmed.
That's good.
Go for launch.
Okay, so do you guys recall what happened last time?
We walked
Yes.
through the magical woods and through several. I want to say nature gang turfs, but like when you think
I
about
remember
I
the
feel like
best
that's pretty spot
wine
on.
yeah,
that Kith has ever had. The best wine ever.
Was it like Red Rock or something
It's
like that?
Stout Fell Red from 22.
Stout felt red from 22.
Yep, that's
That's a thing that
I
happened.
mean, it's on the notes, so.
Yeah.
it did happen.
And also the massive sugar binge that we literally went on as soon as we got back and reported
that-
in.
I
was also
didn't
a
put
thing.
that in the notes because I'm still in the library.
We'll
Yeah.
have pastry. We have. I'm sure we'll.
We haven't quite.
I mean,
yeah,
we bought a
haven't
lot
quite
of
gotten
pastry.
that far yet.
Yeah, we're about to. We're about to invest heavily in this sugar comer.
My notes
in this
only
sugar
reflect
comer.
what Kith sees.
Fair.
Thormir got fixed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in there.
Farmer did get fixed.
By Kid and Treat.
And so, the last conversation you had with Persh, was Persh saying there were a few missions available, but he recommended that you take some time off. You said that you'd take some time off, but you guys never said how long you're going to take off. About that, maybe.
I would say. In character, you'd talk about this. Out of character, I'm thinking like maybe 1-2 days, or maybe
Why
one.
don't we
Depending
talk
on.
about it in character?
That's
Yeah.
what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah, so like we'll talk about that
Okay.
in the game.
Meanwhile, Kith, you are up in the library and you are reading.
Yeah, with Maury.
Oh yes, that's right. Maury came up to look up her
We're
own
library
thing.
friends.
And Ollie, Lusum,
Yeah?
and Yor and
Yes.
Wander
And
are all
Wanderer
in the main hall
with Korea, who's
with
eating
Korea.
With the pie.
In fact, I would like to take this time in the library as an opportunity to have some personal conversation with Maury.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Maury doesn't seem too happy about that.
But the person behind Maury's driving wheel was apparently not prepared.
Disappointment is
It
measurable.
doesn't have
My
to
day
happen
is
this
ruined.
second. I'm just saying it happens, even if off screen.
Okay. Firstly, let's deal with the group of 4 at the moment.
Sure.
Ah, shit. I was about to walk away.
I'll just load up my jigsaw puzzle.
Could just walk away if you'd like.
I mean, I was walking to the fridge, but I'm on push to talk.
Good job.
Who am I hearing in the background?
That. Hang on, I'll go to push
That's
the
you.
talk. Yes.
Oh.
I just realized Thormir's not even in the Roll20.
Oh. What the biscuits? I had it open.
Roll 26.
Yeah, he is. I see him.
Oh.
He's in there.
Yeah, I'm here.
I see him.
I forgot I had 2 screens for a
Echo,
good
Yor,
second.
Lusum, Morgan, Mormir. But
Hold on.
Sao.
Oh, there it
Sao
goes.
was the one who wasn't in.
Oh, that's okay.
As she sneaks into place.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm here.
I
I'm here
had
the whole
I
time,
had
guys.
opened Roll20, but I forgot to hit launch game. So it was just like
Nice.
sitting there on the screen where you launch.
That's
and
it. You're fired.
Well, that escalated quickly. Okay, so you guys are in the main hall and you're perhaps having a conversation, eating a hilarious amount of pastry.
And sugar.
So much sugar, Jesus.
Yes. There, you
Damn it.
are on the fast lane to the diabetes.
The diabetes.
That's fine.
Here, there you go. You can have it back. So, you guys have been through quite the harrowing experience, and in the meantime, Maury and Kith are not there with you. what do you guys talk about over your desserts?
I kind of want to take some fuck, what's it called? Candy and pastry up to Kith and Morgan, but they're busy.
Yeah. As long as the dragon doesn't get annoyed that we're bringing food.
Into the library.
That's actually a big no-no.
You're not there, Maury.
I am in. Okay.
You're up at the library with Kit.
Me and Kith are just randomly discussing that we should not bring food into the library. So it's glad we didn't bring any food.
Hello?
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
No?
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, good. Now you're back. That was weird.
Hello.
Sorry, my sound just completely
Is
cut
it
off
me
for a
you were
second.
looking for?
I can see it in your eyes.
Wow, we're all hyper.
I have a reason to be hyper.
Me either. I've
I've been
gotten 3
eating
hours of
candy.
sleep.
So, Thormir,
Yup.
there is you are in your room and you are, how drunk are you getting?
Probably pretty heavily, yeah.
Okay. Like to the point where you fall asleep?
Probably, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
But before he goes too far, he will clean out the flask that Treat had handed him and pour from his own stock of like the highest quality dwarven liquor he has to return it back to him the next day.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to Kith, how drunk are you?
12 kiths. Because dwarven resilience.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of kits.
That's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, I think you need to go to the hospital.
No, I'm resistant to poison. We're all good.
Well, that takes the fun out of it.
Which is why I need more.
Resistant, not immune.
Yeah.
Oh
It
god.
just means I can take more punishment.
Fine.
Okay. So, the mess hall that you're in is pretty empty, aside from you four. And the random banging and mishmash noises coming from the kitchens behind you as the animated armors are busy making the next meal.
Click clack.
Occasionally, you do see one kind of look out into the room, and it notices you, but it doesn't seem to pause or anything. After about, I don't know, maybe you're in there talking for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and a familiar face kind of appears in the door, Ollie. And coming through the archway is a young-looking female half-elf. And she looks very cheerful. Tally kind of steps up to the table that you guys are at, and she kind of puts her hands on the table and she looks at the four of you and says, "I've heard some weird news today."
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Like some pastry?
Yes, I would love some pastry.
Our thing.
I was under the impression that Bismarck's and Pie were brought into the castle, and no one told me.
Oh, well, sorry about that, but we've got some that.
She plops down at the table next to you, Ollie.
Hey, Echo, can you repeat what she said? I didn't hear.
When? She said,
And nobody told her.
oh. She said that I was told that there were apples, apple pie, and Bismarck's brought into the castle, and no one told me.
What's a Bismarck?
Yeah, what
It
is
said,
a Bismarck?
It said chocolate donut filled with custard.
Okay,
Oh,
I was confused
okay.
about that too. All right.
Okay.
So Tally has kind of forcibly collected an assortment of pastries and
Helping
is
herself.
not daintily eating them right next to you.
It's the second Ollie. Oh God.
And as her
She's
mouth
filling
is
in for
full,
me.
as her mouth is full of
Much
donut,
taller than I am.
she says, "You all look like you've been through hell."
False Hydra.
Yes.
What's
Large.
Oh dear.
Think of the most. Think of the most terrifying thing you can. Take the face of that thing, multiply it by 5, and then make each face about as big as a barn door.
And is trying to eat you.
Yeah. And it's connected to what I only assume to be a poisonous potato with necks reaching out for almost a mile.
It's a potato?
It
Not
was
really. It might look like one. We didn't actually
if you
see the
squinted
body.
at it really angrily, it'd be a potato.
Oh, okay.
I'm only saying potato because I don't actually know what it looks like. I'm just assuming that it's a large mass
All we
of
saw
something.
was the heads. That was enough.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was enough. No, the face was enough. The other heads.
This is true.
The other heads were too much.
Yeah. Ma'am, you know what a false Hydra is, correct?
You just said no.
No, she didn't
That's
know.
just what it was.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
That's why we were explaining what it was.
Yeah.
I thought we were just making jokes.
I,
Oh.
the DM, know what a false hydra is. Tally, the bard instructor,
Nah.
does not.
Okay, well, since these jokers don't want to actually tell you, false Hydra is a multi-headed, very pale creature that sleeps underneath towns and sings illusions, and you can't see it while it's singing, and the only time it stops singing is when it eats. And when it eats something, anybody that knew of them or had memories of them just stop having memories of them. They're erased
Oh, marvelous.
from existence.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah, and it had one of our party members in its mouth up to his neck.
And
Several times.
as far as we are capable of knowing, everybody made it out.
Oh, he's okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I mean,
we pulled
We
him
wouldn't
out. It
know
was,
if we wouldn't know he's okay if he didn't make it.
Hmm.
there may have been somebody else with us, but if there was,
We don't
Yeah.
remember them.
we're pretty sure we didn't have any other group members.
No, we're sure. I
Oh, that's
think.
terrifying.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the kind of paranoia that sets in with these
That's-
things.
That's it after, because even though, I'm pretty sure we went through the festival with
Yeah.
7 of us, and we
I mean,
went on the
kids-
ferry with 7 of us. There might have been more, but we don't know.
I mean,
I mean, we also didn't find any extra supplies
This is true.
that would
Yeah.
indicate that.
We are 89% sure that we did not have another party member.
unless that bard was with us.
Fuck.
You had to say that.
What bard?
There was a bard that was checked into the tavern, traveling minstrel, we were told.
What was his name? I might know him.
Dylan?
Dylan.
Dylan.
Wasn't that
I
his
don't-
name?
I
We
don't know
assumed
I think
he
it
was
was-
eaten because the only record of him was his name
Dylan
in
the
the
Dwarven Bard.
book.
Yeah. that's-
Dylan the Dwarven Bard.
Oh, well. Whatever, he must have sucked. I never heard of him.
Hey, Echo, I have a question.
Sure.
After we left the area of the song, did they remember the stable hand again, or do they just never remember that?
After you're out of the song, you remember what happens.
Okay.
Hmm.
In character, it might make sense that you're paranoid about it, but in
No,
practice...
I was just curious.
Tally is like listening to all this, and her eyes are maybe they get a little wider, but she doesn't seem like you tell a story to someone and you want them to have as gratifying an emotional reaction as you had, and it's not happening.
I mean,
Every day.
Yeah, that's kind of happening.
oh,
She seems interested, at least.
Hmm.
After she's done stuffing the donut down her face, she says, "Well, I'm glad that you made it.
We are too.
I am too. I really
Yes.
don't want to be pulse hydra food.
I'm glad all these made it.
Ollie, I'm glad that you made it back in case you ever wanted to pursue that bardic career we talked about.
I mean,
Ollie?
Hello?
Hello.
She's
She
lagging
said,
again.
she said,
He said,
and then vanished.
and then
Yeah, I know, right?
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on? Okay. I said, I mean, I never really seemed that practical.
Who
On
cares
account
about practical?
by the lack of ability.
It's so you have a weird flavor of internet problems today.
She's lagging.
Oh no.
You don't sound like a robot. You just don't exist every so often.
So you almost get eaten by the hydra.
What the fuck?
Oh no. No, there's one in the building. It's trying to eat Ollie.
Not trying to eat me, it's just trying to eat my internet.
Just need to
Stop.
kick everybody off the internet when you're gaming.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
The whole world needs to leave, including us.
No, I know our parents, and they're not exactly cooperative.
This is the joy
Just
of living in a rural area with high-speed internet.
Mhm.
Mine rarely gets bogged down. Does stop working when the lines freeze.
I mean, all you really need to do is just change the internet password so they don't know it.
Because
Easy.
that will not have negative repercussions.
Yeah, not at all. That won't take anybody off.
Well,
It would just change the nature of my internet issues from, oh, you can't hear me, to, oh, I'm being dragged away from my computer to fix the internet for my parents.
Oh, we hear you now.
yes.
Yeah, you sound good
It's-
now.
Yay!
Anyway, we're going to cut away from that group for a moment. Kith and Mori,
Yo.
you guys are in the library. And as you guys are up here kind of working, a couple times Tabernac has kind of wandered over to see what you're doing and then gone off and, started telling you some crazy long story and then got bored and moved on.
Okay. Cool. I show much reverence to the giant dragon. I have
He's
some serious dragon fear going on.
when you are amongst the bookshelves and tables, he's in a human form.
Oh, okay, that's way less intimidating.
He kind of looks. He's kind of balding on the top. He wears glasses. He kind of looks like a little old guy with graying hair.
I don't know. In my opinion, I'm used to him in his dragon form.
I'm not.
Well,
Kind of
as
scary.
Spooky.
long as you don't
Um,
mess up one of his books, you should be good.
So, what are you reading?
Defense against what the frick was I reading?
Dark arts?
No. It was protection spells, basically.
Oh, cool. Cool. Good talk.
Protection against detection.
No protection, as in
The spell. I'm pretty sure.
it's more like being able to protect yourself against damage than
Ah. Abjuration spells.
correct.
And Kith, what are you looking for?
I'm looking up historical stuff about past groups of Merryguard.
Okay, I'd like both of you to roll me investigation checks.
Okay. Investigation. Plus 6. Okay. Woo!
Nice.
Okay. Alrighty here. So, goodness gracious. That's a dirty 20. Okay, so firstly, Kith. You are looking up histories on previous members or contractors, different people who've worked for the Academy, and Tabernacle's library is extensive. And while the main focus of it is arcane spells, you definitely do find a few other things like histories and other things like that kind of provide you an inkling of information. There's a few records of deeds that previous contracting teams have accomplished.
Cool.
On a 12, you do find mention of another False Hydra encounter, one that occurred in Coda City, the capital of KO. Which that one kind of strikes you as interesting, but that False Hydra was dispatched before it had even really set its roots into the city and made a real impact. The problem was noticed quickly, it being a very large city, and the contractors there reported everything they noticed. And you could see lists of their reports in the book, talking about the problems that the city was struck by, the forgetting of memories, and their account of dealing with the False Hydra.
Not so far off from what we did.
Their False Hydra was much smaller than the one you dealt with.
Okay.
So their False Hydra was found in the basement of what looks like a motel or some sort of tavern or inn, and they managed to slay it where it sat.
Okay.
Then, moving on from those, as you looked deeper into the histories of other things and trying to find instances of other contracting teams, you do find a couple mentions of a cult of dragons is a thing that keeps popping up. A arcane group that likes to spend its time attempting to create Dracoliches. Trying to raise dragons from death to undeath, trying to turn dragons, usually of the chromatic origin, into undead dragons, both to enslave them and use them for power, or to use them as an example for other dragons and to bring them into line. That's a little terrifying as you read into that, and the different contracting teams that have reports of the Cult of Dragons poking up all over Amaranth. Largely in Ceres is where you seem to find the most mentions of it. You do find a number of entries on that, and that's probably of interest to Tabernacle, which is probably why he has this book.
Okay. Cool.
But that's on a 12, that's what you find.
That's fine. Is it okay if I hop AFK real quick?
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. Maury,
Yes.
with that dirty 20. You are looking into abjuration spells, and you find a few things that are of interest to you. You find the remove curse spell, which is one that seems to you to be very potent, as it seems to just instantly cleanse something of a dark seed of energy or something controlling that creature, and it lets you just destroy it immediately. You find the non-detection spell, which lets you just prevent anything from being scryed upon through magical means or hidden from divination spells. It seems like it's pretty potent, and that would be useful to have. And lastly, you find the Beacon of Hope spell. As you're looking through this abjuration book, this spell looks like it just bolsters the vitality of those that it's cast upon. And it's a pretty big area of people it can help. It looks like it just makes it so that whenever someone gets help or gets healed, they get healed for the maximum amount that they can, and they have advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws. So those are the 3 spells that you come up with from a dirty 20.
That's very cool. I will attempt to add any I can to my spellbook.
Okay. Those spells are all level 3, so you might not be able to cast them just yet, but you do know of them.
Mhm.
So when you have the ability to cast 3rd level spells, you will be able to have those spells.
Understood.
Okay. We're gonna hop back down to the group of the rest of you for a moment.
The group of the rest of you.
Yeah, the group of 5.
Currently
As
trying to put
Tally's sitting
themselves
there.
in sugar
Yeah.
comas.
The best kind of coma.
Tally's been kind of poking at you all, maybe trying to get maybe she doesn't have the whole picture. Maybe she doesn't get any gossip or rumors from anybody else, and she's trying to pry a little bit of information out of you guys. Do you tell her everything that happened, or do you beat her on the bush, or?
I mean, there's no reason to lie about what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So she is relieved to find that you all are willing to part with information, and as she's finished eating a large quantity of pastries, she kind of abruptly stands up and says, "Well, honestly, it's a relief to see you all, and thank you all for the stories. I have songs to write."
Just don't make sure none of us look cowardly, alright?
No promises.
That's fair. That's fair. Have a nice night, or morning, or day, or whatever time it is.
Keep in mind, what time of day is it?
Okay.
It's late evening now. It's getting late.
Mhm.
Tally kind of waves to you all and takes her leave. Perhaps less as bouncy, having eaten a shitload of sugar.
As she walks away, you are just going to quietly acquire 2 Bismarcks just so you can actually have some before everyone eats them.
Okay. There's like sugar cookies and
Yeah, there's
a
all
lot
kinds
of
crazy food.
Yeah, we got a lot of.
It's like one of those middle school class parties where everyone just brings sweets.
It's a
Yes,
lot like
but-
that. We got a lot of pastry.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to do in your downtime during this period of vacation?
Oh,
Bye, listen.
Lucy pooped.
dead.
Teleported. Oh no.
Okay. Where the fuck did he go?
He
Is he
died.
still online on?
No, I don't know.
He's still online on Discord.
Online.
Huh.
It might have just. You might
Don't
not have
roll 20.
immediately noticed that it kicked
Eh.
him. If he's got his sound pack turned off. Or
What
he stood
happened?
up from his computer for a minute.
Oh.
There he is.
Oh, good. He's
Okay,
back.
I don't know what the fuck just happened, because the whole server just went blank.
It
That's like, I was here.
occasionally you'll time out.
Oh.
That's what happened.
Well-
It timed out.
Oh. Okay.
Is there anything that you guys want to do during your downtime on this vacation period?
Oh, we haven't actually talked about it yet. Not yet, so.
No.
Yeah.
So this is the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were going to sit down and talk as a group about
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
If,
Yours
if
is gonna
for
say,
how long we're gonna do this, I think we need everyone.
Yours just gonna say, yeah, someone who volunteers to get who, because we have Thormir, Ollie. No, wait, no, Ollie's here. Thormir and Kithmia and Mori to get. So
Well, you don't
volunteers
have the in-character conversation doesn't have to happen until the morning, when everyone has recovered and perhaps not be shit-faced out of their minds.
that's
Yeah, but I'm still concerned. Like that bard lady's gonna walk back to her place and she's gonna write songs, and Thormir's gonna wake up in the morning and he's gonna feel a lot better, and he's gonna walk out of his room. He's gonna hear somebody singing about the dwarf that got peeled by a hydra.
oh Jesus.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Poor Thormir. But yeah, we should probably talk in the morning about it.
Yeah.
Consider
Everyone just enjoy enjoy the food that's in order.
Enjoy the food that's in order. Until you're sick, and then go back to your room, sleep, head
Yes.
off, and we'll come back. We will reconvene in the AM.
Okay, I want to do a thing before that.
I also know what I'll be doing during my downtime, but
Okay.
I can wait too.
Is Coria still in the room?
The dragon is like resting on the table, and her tummy is clearly larger than it was a minute ago.
Is she awake?
Barely.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Coria to let Morrigan know, and then extend that to Kithmia, right? She's also in the library.
Let her know what?
That we're gonna be meeting here in the morning, because they weren't here for that.
When you say that to Coria, her eye like blinks open and she's watching you, and then when you're done talking, she just and then kind of waddles toward the end of the table.
Thanks, man. Or woman, I don't actually know what gender you are.
You suddenly feel a little weird as the sudden, disgusting, rancid smell of rotten eggs fills your nose.
Okay. I'm gonna leave now.
Well, that was rude.
Fairy dragon is
Dragon's
breasty.
gonna do as dragon's gonna do.
Dragon gonna do what
And-
dragon wanna do.
I'm gonna go to my room and just meditate and then go to bed.
Okay. After some time of your studies, Maury, all of a sudden you hear, water guy wants to meet or something.
Oh shit.
Need to wear.
I think in the... I don't know, you should ask him.
Alright.
God damn it.
I'm gonna close my book that I was reading,
Okay.
and stand up, go put it back on the shelf, and go try and find where in the world Lusum even sleeps, or I assume it would
Well,
be
I mean, you've
sleeping.
watched him go into his quarters. It's like right across the hall from you.
Okay. I
Can I
suppose
s-
not. Go ahead.
How long after I left did she get that message?
You left after the dragon did.
Yeah.
So you actually, she would have got the message, oh, I don't know, like 10 minutes before you left?
Okay, so we'd reach my room like right at the same time.
I guess so.
Theoretically.
Okay, I would
Just-
have been just about knocking on the door.
Oh, hi. I'm guessing Coria told you to meet me now instead of in the morning.
She didn't say a lot of things. I don't think she was paying attention.
That's fair, there was apple pie.
Of course.
I just wanted to, her to tell you and Kith, I assume she was with you, that we're meeting in the hall in the morning.
Alright. Can I say for what?
We're just gonna discuss what our plans are for the next few days since we have some downtime.
Alright, I'll tell Kith.
Alright, thank you. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'll head back to the library, pick out a different book. I'll discuss that in a little bit, but as I'm doing so, I'll talk to Kith about my conversation with Lusum.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, one by one, as you guys finish your things and you eventually do head to your rooms to get some sleep, I assume.
Yes.
No one's pulling an all-nighter here. Some of you might have a slight stomach ache when you lay down. Nothing unmanageable, but there is a large platter of half-eaten desserts still sitting in the main hall. Unless you collected your stuff?
I mean,
I was
I
gonna
mean, I'm
say
gonna
that
make
I was gonna
sure-
say that Wander would have helped Ollie like gather stuff up and take it somewhere so it wasn't just left sitting, because I'm sure we did not eat everything.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I
there was
know,
a lot.
I know Luciam took at least the candies.
There's
Okay.
a thing I wanted to do before I got yanked away by a crying child.
Yes.
I did want to go share with Morgan what I found about this cult of dragons, because it's pretty freaky.
That does interest me.
So I'd go track her down and be like, hey, look at this. There's this group called the Cult of Dragons, and they're like making these things called, they're trying to make a Draco Lich. It's like a Lich dragon. And I'll show her the
Interesting.
book where I found the stuff. And this is in this one, and it's mentioned here. A lot of them are in Ceres, however you say it.
Saris.
Does it have any mention of how they do it?
I'm not sure. You'd have to look a little deeper. I was just kind of cross-referencing still.
Okay. May I attempt to find out if there's any information in that book or correlating books that
Yeah.
would say how
You
they're
can.
able to do such a feat?
Roll me an investigation.
Okay. Alright. 13.
Okay. So you learn a couple things. Based on the books that Kith shows you, you also look into a few of these volumes in the necromancy section to understand how a creature that is not a human or a humanoid would be able to become a lich. And what you discover is a little unsettling, as the only way to make a Draco Lich is to take a living dragon and basically kill it in a specific way with a type of potion. And then the spirit of that dragon will either assume control over the dead body, or it will take over the body of another dragon of any kind. Doesn't have to be specifically a dragon. It could be a dragon turtle. It could be a dragon born. Just has to be of a kind of dragon.
Interesting.
Man, a dragon turtle Draco Lich. What the fuck?
oh
What
god.
exactly type of potion is this? And what are its...
You have
exact
no
effects?
idea. It's
Okay.
apparently extremely difficult to make, extremely dangerous, and extremely potent.
Echo, you said this was metallic dragons they were practicing on, or
Chromatic.
chromatic? Okay. And do you share this with Kith as you find it, Morgan?
I suppose.
I just didn't know if I should put notes on it.
I don't have to tell these assholes anything.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just curious if she'd share that or not.
I'm sure it would just be a bunch of information that might not be useful. But I will share it anyway.
Well, I think it's useful. I mean, there's necromancers trying to kill dragons and turn them into liches. That's pretty messed up.
Yes.
You do also read that it is easier to complete the ritual if the dragon is willing.
Sure, that makes sense.
Which might be why they're doing it with chromatics.
Oh yeah, because they have more human form of emotions. They aren't just all for themselves. Would it say? I know this is very specific, but like this popped into my head. Would it say if they were magically inclined to be, susceptible to the ritual? Would that matter, or would it not count?
What do you mean?
So say someone charmed the dragon into wanting to be a part of the ritual. Would that work? Is that too specific?
That's a little too specific.
Yeah. Okay. Just a thought.
We
It's
should.
that the person. It's clear that whoever wrote these volumes is speaking from herd knowledge. They haven't tried it themselves.
Okay. I think that will be all.
Yeah, off to bed.
Okay. Fucking hold on.
I do have a question for Persh whenever he's available next, but he might be sleeping.
He's not awake right now. But yeah, you guys have that conversation. You guys go crash.
Yes.
I'd like a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Oh no.
I haven't done anything.
It's followed us.
Ah!
12.
I have a +4 in this. Better be.
Okay,
Damn it.
no worries. You guys have a good night's sleep, mostly. The images that haunt you have maybe dulled over the day or two that you've been away from it all, and being back in the castle does help. Thormir, I'd like a con save.
Do we get
Oh,
advantage
yeah,
because
for
it's
sure.
poison?
No.
He hasn't stopped drinking.
You
has
drank
he?
12 kiths worth. You don't get advantage.
It
Well,
doesn't
it's
matter. You do
21.
not have a hangover. With a 21, you
Oh,
knew
geez.
to drink lots of water as well, and you wake up not feeling great, but feeling fine.
Awesome.
Water, I should drink more water.
Amazing.
Awesome possum.
You guys
I-
awaken maybe around 8 in the morning, feeling pretty rested. You can all hit the long rest button should you need to. Though I don't think any of you did anything.
No, we didn't.
No,
No,
not
I
really.
don't think we did.
It is the
I'm
next
still
morning.
hitting
Dwarf, hear me roar.
Still hitting it.
You guys can head to meet if you'd like.
I
Yep,
do.
That's,
But
Yes.
that's
Yep.
the plan.
But I do keep an eye out for Persh.
Oh, he's there at the desk when you walk by it.
I have a quick question for him.
Okay, so you approach. Perch is like, "Morning."
Morning.
Impressive.
How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm delightful. What can I do for you?
I'm glad to
Kith?
hear that. If I wanted to see journals from past groups, is there a way for me to do that?
The old chronicles.
Yes.
Some of them are still being carried around, but that is information you are allowed access to.
Excellent. And do I
What-
put in a request, a specific name? How do I do that?
Are you looking for something specific?
Yes. I am looking for the journal of someone named Sharian Fenlar.
Okay, hold on.
And
He,
no
like-
rush, I can go get breakfast and come back. Does that help?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and
Okay.
do that.
Sounds
I'll
good.
have something
Thank
for
you.
you. Okay. So, you guys head and meet up in the mess hall?
That plan.
Okay. Breakfast today is bacon, eggs, hash browns, and assorted vegetables.
Yes.
Yum.
Mm.
Protein and carbs, that's all Thormir's
Getting-
going after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, give me a plate full of a little bit of each.
Ollie, I have to talk to you.
Mostly
Anything
bacon.
that doesn't have any sweetness to it, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
I don't
Yes.
want sweets for a long time.
Just a huge plate of hash browns. Okay.
Yep.
Hash
Sounds good.
browns, bacon. What else
Salty,
did you
salty
say?
hash browns.
I don't think I could ever look at a potato the same, though.
Guys.
It might be
Oh
a bit
my
of
gosh.
solace that these potatoes are shredded into fine pieces.
Yes.
Just like my legs.
Just, oh, jeez. I'm just gonna. I'm
Well,
gonna look
okay then.
just gonna look
Wow.
at just gonna look at Thormir, pick up like a forkful of hash browns, just say assert your dominance, and then just eat the whole forkful.
I don't. I wanted to tell you guys about something, but maybe now's not the time.
No, you you have.
On a side note, coming from the halls, you kind of hear a vague musical tone.
Oh,
A Hydra had a shish kebab named Thormir.
Oh god.
No, no.
Oh my gosh.
The four of us just kind of look at Thormir like,
I'm so sorry.
no.
sorry.
Oh my gosh, somebody wrote a song about you, Thormir? I'm gonna go hear it.
But you're famous.
It's gone already.
I knew you'd be well known, but I didn't know you'd be well known this quickly.
Bormir's just gonna hang his head low and just stuff his face.
It's good food.
Mhm.
It doesn't help the emotional trauma, but it does taste good.
You don't have PTSD occurring potatoes?
I'm afraid not.
Damn, fresh out.
So, guys, I found this really cool thing in a book. You want to hear about it?
Mm.
As you do.
And by cool, I
Sure.
mean horrible. And it's really important for you all to know that this is going on.
But that still makes it cool.
I think we need to talk about your definition of cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool was the wrong word. I was just excited that I found something. But it's really not cool. It's horrible because it has to do with necromancers, and they're the worst. The absolute worst. So, there's this group called the Cult of Dragons. Have you heard of them?
No.
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 Okay.
Definitely
Roll me a history check, Ollie.
Okay.
Can I as well, since I'm proficient?
No.
Okay.
That's
a
pretty
17.
good. You have not heard of them.
I don't know.
Okay, so apparently this cult was some kind of arcane group, and they were trying to turn dragons into undead dragon liches called Draco liches. I mean, they might still be doing it. Isn't that messed up? Don't you think
How
we should?
old is it? How old is the account?
Well, there was a bunch of different mentions of it, and like the historical books that Tabernac keeps. A lot of it was happening in Ceres, but like
But I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. There's sound. Sorry.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, don't you think that's really messed up that necromancers would do stuff like that? We should definitely know about this stuff.
I mean,
Kith,
Yes.
Kith, you need to ask yourself a question.
Think very
Unless-
hard before you speak.
he is a cleric.
If
Yes?
if the information is accountable to what we're doing currently, then it's important.
What are we
And
doing
what we
currently?
need- well, what we need to do is we need to discuss what we're going to do in this downtime. Because, hells no, I am not going to send us all out on another mission right after that fiasco.
Thanks.
Okay.
But it's our job.
Yes, and
Yes,
then
but the
and
whole
Purse-
guild also
Purse-
told us.
Yeah, Purse literally said, take some time off.
I'm fine with some time off. I was just sharing this.
No,
Liches.
Yes, liches. In another continent. Nowhere near us. Probably.
That
Yeah, I also found mention that other people had fought hydras before, too.
Hmm.
Is that
I'm-
relevant enough?
I mean, the tone isn't, but the information is yes.
So apparently another group found a false hydra in Coda. It was a lot smaller though, and they killed it really quick. But they kind of did some of the same stuff we did, where they kept notes and kind of tracked it down. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
You know,
At least we-
sometimes
we,
history.
we weren't doing things completely wrong.
We were doing it right. Just
Yeah. So if
And
we
then
ever
we're
run
ready
into
that
like
Just a bad end.
dragon
We were out of our
liches,
depth.
or you know,
yeah.
someone mentions cult of dragons, just keep your ears open. That's all I'm asking.
No, I will. Don't worry.
Thanks.
I will.
Hey, Echo.
Hey,
How is Thormir dealing with the continuous mention of the thing that shredded him and haunted his nightmares?
after the greater restoration and the calm emotions, doing okay.
Okay.
It's kind of up to you how much of water off the duck's back you take it.
Alrighty. Thank you.
So what was the meeting about?
I think the idea is just to figure out what all we're doing while we're not working.
And when we want to go back to work.
Yeah.
I was just gonna research stuff.
Alright.
I have a few things that I want to make.
I need to go with you actually, because I need to pick up my ruined chainmail or scale mail.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Why does this keep happening?
Really strange.
Yeah, Thormir, I need to go with you.
Test? Hello?
Testing.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Okay, now I can hear you guys. Sorry. Carry
It's
on.
fine.
Ollie, did your ears get damaged in the Hydra fight?
Maybe the song ruined them.
See?
Mm,
Yeah, it was the song.
if
So- How many days are you guys taking off?
uh,
I'd say
In
4
char-
or 5.
in character,
Maybe.
I'd say, do you want a week or do you want 2 days?
I'd
2
say
or
it's
3
up
days.
to Thormir.
I'm good with just a few days. Better
do
to have
3
something to
days.
keep me busy.
3 days.
Yeah, I'm good with
That
3
sounds
days.
reasonable.
All right.
Like a long weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know if we know what weekends are, but
The week never
Oh,
ends.
no.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
With the gold that you guys handed from the job, Thormir's going to take an extra 10 from his and throw it in the party fund as well. So we have 110 gold pieces for the party fund.
Cool.
Party fund.
Is it going to become an actual party fund? Who knows?
I mean,
Well, you know
yeah.
what I mean. Just the
Yeah,
spare
it
money
was
on
just-
the side.
Okay. So, let's jump with Thormir and Lusum, who are heading over to the blacksmiths.
Alright.
Anybody else going with them, or just the two?
Wander will tag along with them.
Okay.
Wander will wander.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a terrible.
That's
So-
amazing.
The three of you head over to the blacksmith shop, and for the moment, Sekka is waiting on steel to heat in the forge, and her arms are kind of folded up next to it, and she notices you as you approach.
Hey.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Miss Sekka.
What can I do for you?
I just need to pick up my my scale mill. That's what it's called.
Oh, it's ready for you. It's on that hook right there. And you see there's like a long rack of armors and leathers that are hanging from the back wall.
All right. Super sorry to do this again, but I need to return the one I'm wearing, and there's been some like light damage on it because we fought a false Hydra, and I'm kind of just weakly give a thumbs up.
I'm glad to see you up and about then.
Me too. Not sure everyone made it back though.
Thormir, ever since you arrived, she's been watching you, and she notices that you're moving a little differently. She hasn't said anything on it, but she's noticed.
Do I owe you anything more for the chest plate?
No?
All right. Thank you. Have a very wonderful day if you can. And then I grab the scale mill and then head on out back toward the castle.
Okay. You just walk away?
Bye.
Peace.
Well, I mean, Lucian went there and did what he needed to do, and I'm assuming he also picked up that Freya wanted to talk to Thormir, but she hadn't said anything, so he assumed that they wanted to talk alone.
Okay.
You know, there's also 2 words you can say, and it's called goodbye.
I did! I did! I said have a nice day!
Oh, my bad.
That was hilarious.
Okay. So, Wanderer, Thormir, you guys are at the blacksmith's as Lusum takes his leave.
I want to buy another 2 minor healing potions.
As soon as you start like going to actually buy goods, she kind of shoves herself off the post that she's leaning on and heads over to her actual supply. 2 lessers.
Yep, so that's 100 gold total.
It is indeed.
And I want to buy some material I want to buy a Fletcher's kit and the material to make arrows and bolts.
Oh, you're trying out boying. All right. 10 gold for the kit.
Alright.
And then how much? How many materials do you want?
About enough for 25 bolts and, say, 50 arrows.
Gold and a half.
Alright. 5, 7. And remove. Alright. And I'll put most of that stuff in the haversack.
Okay.
But I would like to go over to the forge and try to make a twisted arrowhead.
Okay. Before we do that, Wander, was there anything you wanted to do at the blacksmith's?
No, she was just tagging along for something to do. But now she's
Okay.
interested in what Thormir's doing because he bought a Fletcher's kit. So
Okay.
That does seem relevant to her interests.
Yeah.
this is relevant to my interests.
Okay.
So now she's interested.
Thormir, roll me no longer a history check, as you've done this enough. You're proficient in it. Roll me a blacksmithing check.
That's
Which,
half
if
my
you're-
strength, half my dexterity, and then proficiency. Right?
Correct.
2, 1, plus 2, 5. 22!
Yeah. You have no problem twisting a razor tip arrowhead.
Keeping it nice and sharp and straight.
Well, yeah. You make a very effective and correctly twisted arrowhead. And in fact, as you're making it, Seka is impressed with the speed and deftness at which you do this.
About how many of them do you think I could make off that 22?
20 arrowheads.
Okay. So,
I figured you were just going to make a quiver of them.
yeah, I wanted to make sure that I had the number.
Yes.
20. Okay. And that'll be about all. And,
Do me a favor and describe the arrowheads, please.
so you know those? Well, you might not. They're a dagger that has a 2 3/4 twist to them.
The fluted channel daggers?
Yes, it is
Yes.
similar to that.
Okay. I would say that a creature harmed by these arrowheads will have a much harder time healing that wound.
I love how you just knew what he was talking about.
Plus, he looks cool,
I mean, relatively.
which is
You know that
is
dagger with the
important.
2 3/4 da da da? This? Why, yes.
Well, I mean, he's a fellow metal guy, so he knows.
I know. It's funny. Like
It
I have
is-
no clue what you're
it was-
talking about.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
I think they're
Good
also
job.
called like Cobra daggers or something like
It's
that.
like,
but-
The-
Hey,
Yeah.
you know about that new Munchkin brand sippy cup? Isn't it great? And you guys are like, what?
The the point of that specific method for creating a weapon is that it makes the wound channel really difficult to heal because blood has a hard time scabbing over and clotting in that wound.
Got it. It really
Same
tears
thing
up
with,
the
like,
skin. Okay.
Same way with like triangular bayonets, you cannot sew those shut.
I dig
Nope.
it.
Spike bayonets, triangular bayonets.
Okay.
And so, Wander,
Gross.
over the next hour and a half to 2 hours, you watch as Thormir takes up billets of steel and then just bangs them out over the horn of the anvil, twists them into a specific shape, and grinds them into sharp arrowheads, one after the other, after the other, after the other, like almost
Like a
mechanically.
machine.
I am machine.
I'm impressed.
And I'm gonna explain to Wander the effectiveness of these arrows. Allegedly, because I don't know if these are in the world or not.
They are now.
They are
They
now.
are now.
Well, now, I didn't know if I had.
You can explain the theoretical effect of them.
Yeah, the theoretical effect of why
I
this would be helpful.
Well, in game mechanics terms, those injuries caused by those arrowheads, let's say if Thormir was shot by one of these arrowheads and then Kith tried to heal him, Thormir would heal for half.
Hey.
Oh, oh wow,
Yikes.
that's actually real. That's okay.
That's
That's
pretty
really good.
vicious.
They're mean. They're mean arrowheads.
Now you see what I think about when I'm at work.
Yeah.
I have been writing things down for the
Oh.
past week.
Jesus Christ.
And that's also why in the entire last campaign, I kept poking at you guys, hey, you should try crafting something. Hey, why don't you
So
guys make something? And
I
no
made a
one
character
did.
centered around crafting.
I just bought all my stuff. I was rich.
Well, yes.
Capitalism.
Yeah. And after that, I'm gonna kind of just be like, "Yep, that's about all. I'll give you these when I get them created later, because I'll have to fletch them together."
Oh,
Yeah, they're just arrowheads right now.
Yeah.
okay.
And I'll make sure I got enough wooden dowels and spare pieces and whatnot.
Yeah, you purchased that already.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kith, Mori, Ollie, Lusum, Yor.
Yes.
Checking in with
What do you-
Persh.
Oh, you're back with Perch. Right, I forgot about that.
It's okay. No rush on it.
Okay, so after you guys meeting, Kith, you go up to Perch, and you see Perch has his head like in a drawer in the back of his desk.
Hey, Persh, I brought you a muffin.
Oh, that was kind of you.
I hope you like apple cinnamon.
It'll definitely suffice.
What's your favorite?
Coffee.
Okay, I'll grab that next time.
Oh, you don't have to, but I appreciate the sucking up.
No, I was just
so-
being nice. It had nothing to do with sucking up. But hey, 2 birds, 1 stone.
So you're looking for Fenlar's Chronicles. So he was not the chronicle of his group, but he was in part of 3 different contracting teams before he departed the Maryguard.
Okay.
And I have 3. And then he sets these huge
Wow.
tomes. Each one is roughly the same size as your own chronicle, but these are filled.
Wow, is it okay if I take these back to my room to read?
If you sign the checkout here,
Yeah, I won't take them anywhere else. I just, wow.
I don't think you will. I'm just saying I have to keep track of where they go.
No problem. I will definitely sign that.
Okay. He was part of the team, the Greyhands, and then team number 7,
Wow,
and
they
then the
never
Red
got a
Bloods.
name? Red
They
Bloods.
It was kind of a shorter,
Right. Really
shorter
short.
patience team.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
Hey, no worries.
Coffee next time. Got it. Black, cream,
No,
sugar?
coffee cake.
Oh, coffee cake. Okay, got it. Coffee cake. Next
Just for
time.
his muffin.
And I'm gonna go back to my room, and that's where I'm gonna spend the next 3 days.
Oh. Okay. We will address that in a minute.
What? Should I not? What?
You can do whatever you like. It's your life. I recommend eating.
Well, okay. Wow. All right then. Smart ass. I stopped
I have
do
to take my
basic.
kicks where I can get them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yor, what are you doing?
Yours actually going to go up to the library.
The arcane library where Kith and Mori have been disappearing to?
Yes.
Okay, so you climb the tower and you, too, encounter Tabernac the Brass Dragon.
That is a dragon, yes.
Do you talk to him or do you just go in the library?
I'll go in.
Okay, he is asleep when you go in, so...
Right. He's actually going to use this time to kind of try and find any books that would be, I would guess, get more context as like to the area, and possibly if he can also find stuff about southern Nosfadania, specifically around the place where he lived.
Oh. Okay. I didn't expect that.
I mean, this is the first amount of free time he's had, so he's gonna at least spend a little bit of it. But the main focus is just getting to know the area and everything, local histories, little things like that. Hello?
Did Echo die?
Hey. Maybe he got infected with Beth's virus.
Oh, can you hear me now?
No.
Oh my
Yay,
god.
he's
Oh
back.
no!
Oh.
What?
Ollie
Oh,
I've
really
heard-
did infect
He's
him.
fine.
He
Like
turned
1
into a
millisecond.
robot.
Yeah, for a second.
Like a robot to me.
You sound like a robot to me.
You sound like a
Oh,
robot.
It's just
Wow.
bouncing back and forth between them.
Mhm.
Okay.
That was spooky.
Did you roll that in that investigation, sir?
I didn't hear you say roll investigation. so-
Fuck me. Roll investigation, please.
Okay. Oh, it hurts.
Okay. That's not great. So you spend a couple hours in the library searching through the tombs, and you're a little bit overwhelmed by the vast variety of volumes that are in here. This library is massive, and you can kind of understand why Mori and Kith end up getting lost in here for so long. You see that they have books on every class and school of magic, and there are all sorts of things and weird, obscure histories and mentions of other nations and tales of heroes, and it's all over the place. And all the while in the background, you just hear as the dragon is sleeping in the corner, which might be a cause for unsettling discomfort, but you spend a while searching. You don't find anything specifically on Nos Vidania.
Makes some
There
sense.
are just so many books here.
Search for answers continues. Seems. He just kind of mumbles to himself as he rifles through the books. I'm guessing still looking at this point, since he does have a full day. You can cut back to
Sure.
everyone else, so this is probably like the main thing he's going to be doing is just research.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. We will deal with that then in a moment. Okay. I will be right back.
Tabernacle's just gonna wake up one day and our entire group is gonna be in the library.
Hey, I asked permission.
I mean, Thormir is kind of like a walking library of lore and legend. That's about it,
Sounds like a good way to be.
right?
Y'all should just take Wander in, and then she can distract Tabernacle because she loves listening to stories. So he could talk forever, and she'd just listen to him.
Just,
Leave
just,
you guys alone.
just being a good little bean, sitting crisscross applesauce, listening to. Like,
Applesauce.
Just
I don't. I
listening.
had.
Crisscross apricot.
I was having a stroke. I'm sorry.
You know what I find fascinating is that you guys all say crisscross applesauce. So I must be the last generation that called
I
it Indian
definitely-
style.
I
Oh,
would
no,
call
we
it
still
Indian
call it
style
Indian style.
too.
Yeah, we call it
Oh.
either way. Honestly,
Okay, all right. I was just
Yeah.
curious because you all I've noticed say that,
I know.
and I know
but-
it's not like politically correct anymore for good reason, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's
mean-
the point. I think it's more just crisscross applesauce is funner to say.
Yeah, it is.
There is
'Cause
that.
rhymes.
Well, I know that the school systems, at least around here, changed it because of the native community not liking it. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, oddly enough, like I'm from Ohio, and our baseball team is the Cleveland Indians, and it's still the Indians.
Oh, very rare.
oh yeah, they still have the Redmans as the high school mascot here. So you know,
That's
I
not
mean, we
awkward
did
at
have
all.
Chief
No,
Washington,
not at
and
all.
I missed that, but
Yeah.
I am back.
Hi.
Right back.
Back.
Sorry about that.
I'm back. I'm Thormir.
Oh my God, stop! Not you.
Yes.
That is such a bad one.
It's
My
it's a, it's a
Hate
timeless
it.
classic.
That's why I normally watch my toes and say things like "I have returned" and things like that.
Yep.
But you haven't. You didn't this time.
I didn't this time. I let it
Let your
slip.
guard down. You let your guard down.
You bumped your
Not
toe.
healing
against
you
the
next
wall.
time. You can just suffer.
Listen,
Hey, I bought potions.
I
Potions aren't gonna
survived-
rebuild your legs.
I survived on 1
Pretty well.
HP after getting gored by a minotaur. I think I'll be fine.
Listen,
I
technically-
won't.
die to that Minotaur.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Listen.
Push to talk?
Did
Yeah.
we lose him?
He's muted right now.
Hello, sorry.
I'll throw
So
a
you
book
have
at you.
you've collected your scale mail, and you are returning to the Castle Merigard. What sort of thing would you like to accomplish during your downtime?
I'd like to further practice shaping the water. You got my DM on Discord earlier, right?
I did.
Okay, cool. I've thought about the shape that I want to practice, and I want to do the shape of an apple, because it's got the curves on the side, and it's got a divot in the center on both the top and the bottom, and it's got to make a stem, and that's really complicated. But if he can do that, he should be able to do most of the shapes like that. He obviously can't do like abstract stuff, but he would be able to do like shaped stuff. So that's what he's like going for.
Can I ask, what is the long-term goal here? Did you hear me?
Hello?
No,
God,
you
we're all
can't.
doing it.
Lucian?
Fuck.
The curse of the internet today.
No, that was my
Bad.
push to talk, because I took my hands off of it so that I can animate my hands, but then I don't have push to talk.
I'm really proud of you.
Don't be.
Okay.
Really don't be. Okay, so where did I cut off?
I asked what your long-term goal is, and then you said nothing.
Okay. So the long-term goal is to increase the variability and the utility of my water. Eventually, the end goal, I would like to be able to grab things with the water. But
You can
first, I've got to
already-
be able to shape the water how I want it, and then I've got to add density
Okay.
and firmness to the water.
So, the
But
shape
that's
water
like
cantrip.
way down the line.
The shape water cantrip is literally, because it's based on your Genasi form, is literally you using your mind to affect the weave and bend water as a sorcerer might. You can make it take the shapes of whatever is in your head, control up to a 5-foot cube of water. Control a lot of water, and you can make it do kind of whatever you want.
Yeah. I've always imagined it that Lusam never really practiced with it, so he got really bad at it.
Is this
So-
okay? So is this your in-character growth, or is this trying
This is Lusam trying to be a more productive part of the team because he can't really do anything else up close.
Okay. What
He's-
I'm asking because I, in character, had Lusam fill a Hydra's mouth with water and push Ollie out of it.
Yeah, and I saw. I thought that was more because just the volume of the water forced the jaws open, not the they was forced open because
like-
Lusam.
The shape water cantrip, you can make it kind of do whatever you want. All water is pretty potent, just by it being there and moving around, especially because a 5 cubic feet is a lot of water.
A lot of water.
It's like 6,000 pounds of water or something like that.
Is it really?
It's
5 by 5 by 5.
It's
Oh,
a lot of
Jesus.
water.
So I could literally crush my. I'm not actually going to do that because that's broken as shit. But per game rules, I could crush my enemies. That's fucking sick. Again, not gonna do that. because that's
Let's
broken
see
as shit.
here. Hold on.
Rush.
5-foot cube water weight.
312.14 pounds.
You could drown people. Like a
Yeah, I mean,
gelatinous
but
cube. You can
still-
just move around.
you can just pound somebody down with 300 pounds.
I mean,
Okay, so
like an ultimate super
that makes
soaker.
sense because 1 cubic foot of water is 62 pounds of water. That's a lot of weight in 5 of those. It's about 300 something, which is a not insignificant amount.
Okay. So then, bearing that, this would be? I think we'd have to discuss this later. But would it be possible for Lusam to train to manipulate the water inside of things, not living creatures, but like plants?
Oh, that
No
Oh,
wonder bending.
no.
that's you are pushing beyond the
Plant
boundaries of the cantrip.
bending.
Okay.
No water bending.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah. No plant bending.
It is a potent spell as it is. It being a cantrip lets you do it whenever you want. Like it is a lot of water it can control. You can manipulate it. I would say that you can't really like create like hovering shields and tools and things like that with it because it's within that 5 foot.
Listen, you're pot making.
Oh. Sorry.
Because the cantrip says 5 foot cube, I would say you can lift water 5 feet up off the ground, but that is kind of the extent of its control. I would say that if you had a 5 foot cube of water, you could use that as cover. You can use that to move things. You can use that to freeze it into better cover, like obstacles.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of applications of shape water, but bending other creatures is beyond the scope of a cantrip.
Yeah, and yeah.
You're about 200 and some odd pounds from being able to like crush a skull, essentially.
So, going back to what it was before, I would be able to do like, as long as it was near me, I'd be able to make the water, like grab a key or something. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
You could make water flow collect the key and then bring it over to you.
Yeah.
Because in that 5 foot cube, you can make the water flow however you want. You can make it move as quick as you want. The spell kind of lets you do whatever you want with it in that 5 foot cube.
Okay. Well, then I don't really know what Lusam's gonna do.
Want to help me read journals? You could see Kith walking off trying to haul 3 journals as big as her.
You could go find odd jobs. You could help your party members. You could go talk to other instructors. You could explore the castle. You could build
Get a
stuff.
really
You
nice
could go
hookup for
crafting.
3 days. Options.
Yeah, you could go get really shit-faced at the Merry Guard. You could find a prostitute. You could do whatever you want.
Train.
Your life, dog. Go get a copy of Skyrim and play it on
Just
your
waste
Switch.
your life away.
Could you come back to me in a few minutes, man? I need a minute to think about what I'm doing.
Okay. We'll come back to you. Maury,
Yes.
what are you doing over this downtime that you have available?
I think I'm going to go to the library one more time, if that's all right.
Sure. You go to the library. Find your... and Kith.
No, I'm not there.
Oh, never mind. The Kith is just a hallucination.
One time.
Oh god, I may need rest. Okay. I want to look up revival and restoration spells that aren't used through divination and divine magic.
I mean, arcane-based
Yes.
healing?
Yes, but possibly stronger.
Okay. So... That's the tricky part.
Yep.
That is... roll me an Arcana check. and then an investigation check.
Okay. Arcana and then... Okay, we'll do the same thing. I just gotta roll basically twice.
Yeah. $18. So, with that Arcana check, you know that the problem with magic that heals, restores, revives, the weave, the basis of which arcane magic is performed, is too cold and too calculating to allow itself to be guided by those who rebuild cells and rebuild life. There are certain spells that kind of bend that rule. A bard can bend the weave with his songs by casting Healing Word, which is kind of as good as it gets. Other than that, you know that there are sometimes situations where you can pull off a restoration spell. But other than that, arcane magics are not suited to rebuilding the bodies of those who are alive and without doing them harm, which is what the War of the Dead was really caused by, as necromancers were attempting to heal those they lost or restore them, and without the gods in presence, the best they could do was restore people to unlife, bind their souls and spirits to dead bodies, and animate them and preserve them. But with that investigation check, you begin to search on this almost fruitless feeling task, as you've heard stories of wizards attempting the same thing, and it comes out similarly. What you do find is you can find the wish spell. Should you ever learn to be able to cast that spell, wish is one of the few arcane powers that can heal. Did you ever get powerful enough to cast a wish? You could heal anyone.
What is needed for such a spell?
A lot of mental fortitude. A lot of practice, years of experience in understanding the weave, and out of character, I think level 17.
Oh, God.
It is
Level
a
9
ninth level spell.
Alright. Possible dead in there then, huh?
What'd you say?
I said that's possible dead in there.
Possible. It's not impossible to get 9th level spells. You might be able to get someone to sell you a scroll of wish. You might be able to find other means of casting a wish, perhaps through a deal or bargain or a magical item. But for you to cast the spell yourself, you need to get very powerful.
Okay.
Lusum.
Okay. Before I do that, this is out of character. There's no one in Marigard that powerful, correct? As far as we're aware.
You would have no idea.
Cool. Okay. I figured out what Luciam's gonna do. He's gonna be a power washer, or whatever the medieval equivalent is, because town's dirty, someone's gotta clean it. He's
Okay.
just gonna run water over spots until they look nice again.
So you run around cleaning the town?
I
Or the
mostly go up
Marigard.
to I'm gonna go shopkeepers first. I go up to shopkeepers and I'm like, hey, I'm a water genasi. I have powers over water. Do you want me to clean your storefront? Get rid of the dirt? And if they say no, I just go on somewhere else. But if they say yeah, I just do it.
Are you trying to earn money for this?
I think he's more just bored, but if they pay him, he'll be glad.
Roll me percentile. So one thing that you notice is that the town of Ferrum has a not insignificant coating of soot on a lot of its streets. As you're walking around the town and you're offering your services to various shopkeepers and vendors, a few of the shopkeepers kind of look at you like you're crazy. A few of them are grateful, and you do occasionally receive a couple tips from these people. But most of the soil and soot are in the middle of the streets. And you remember that sight of a dragon breathing fire down to cleanse the city of shadows. I would say you get about 11 gold in tips from people as you're walking around washing off their storefronts. You do occasionally have people kind of walk up to you and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Cleaning.
Just
Because I'm bored. And this town looks dirty.
the halfling's like looking at you like, "Oh, well, all right then.
Yeah, sorry. Trying to concentrate.
Sure. Would you happen to be one of those contractors?"
Yeah, my group's on a bit of downtime right now.
Okay. Well, you
You need
have a good
something?
one. Nope. Roll me a perception check.
Fuck. Fuck, where is it?
17. As he was talking to you, you feel a slight tug on your left pocket.
Where my coin pouch is? Or
Yes.
where... Okay,
Where your coin
yeah.
pouch is.
I'm gonna put my hands in my pockets immediately and just be like, you need to knock that off right fucking now.
Hey, I'm sorry. Sorry. Can't blame the guy for trying. And he runs away.
I bet he
Take your
does.
Jesus Christ. I was half expecting this, like, there's now a cube of ice around his feet.
You cannot freeze water with shape water if someone's in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What if you freeze a 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot block above them, and then you let go?
You
That
cannot
would kill
hover a
them?
5-foot cube off of the ground.
Okay.
I could create water above them and then immediately freeze it with shape water.
You could. If they are less than 5 feet tall, that would work.
Yeah.
The halfling, so.
Sure. Do you do that?
Either way, that would kill them, and no.
Okay.
I mean, you could also make like a small ice prison as long as they
Yeah.
get
Just
like
pretend-
low
just pre-
strength.
Ice
Just-
bubble.
Just pretend just pretend it's a wolf.
Pretend it's a wolf. Yes, because I'm sure Yor would feel great about us having 2 days to ourselves and having to bail one of his group members out of jail.
Oh,
No,
God.
he would
Flattened a
hate-
halfling.
No, he would hate it.
Yes.
He would
yes,
hate it
I want
Yeah.
this.
No,
No, you don't.
Okay, how do I
the
get
God,
most
murder
I
people.
do is like create a very, very thin layer of ice in a bubble around him, so that he would panic and then break it real easy and then run. That's
you
the
already
most I
scared
would
him.
do. Yeah, just
Yeah.
scare him.
no. The blue man caught him, so he's going to run.
Start singing like Blue Man Group at him.
Ollie.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. So, Lusum, you spend the couple days cleaning up the city and getting a few tips. Occasionally, people give you like, you get like a couple pastries and you get a few tankards of ale bought for you that you don't drink.
I want Lusum in my real life.
I give it
My siding
to
needs power washing.
I give it to the halflings.
A couple
Wait.
times, Tally, who's always, out and about on the town, she kind of stops by you and watches what you're doing and then leaves after making a few side jokes at you.
I laugh along with
Like you do.
Ollie, what are you doing during your downtime?
The first thing that Ollie is going to do with her downtime is send off that money that we talked about.
Okay.
And then with a letter.
The letter B.
Yes, just the letter B, nothing else.
Okay.
No, just basically a short note. She's not really a great conversationalist with stuff written down. She doesn't know that many words, and she's not going to ask for help. So it's a very short. You know the kind of letter that you used to send when you were at summer camp.
Yes.
That's that kind.
Okay, roll me an intelligence check.
Okay.
What do you want the letter to say? What's the point you're trying to get across?
Just, you know, I'm a real contractor now. This is job. Hope everything is going well. Me and Kith are both alive.
Okay.
That's just basically the.
Just like hey, we're doing okay. We have a job.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. With that intelligence check, you sufficiently get that point across.
Hooray! Successfully lettered.
Kind of blocky letters, but it does the job.
Yep. And then otherwise, mostly a lot of for the next few days. Spend a little bit of time with the other monks.
Okay.
I want to observe what's going on with training. If anybody
there
being
are a
trained.
number of monks being trained now.
And just like
You suddenly get the impression that your efforts with the festival, word has kind of gotten around from you guys.
oh
As
hey,
you might have made an impact. And
very cool.
there's been a lot more recruits this time around.
Cool.
Hooray!
We're inspiring.
As you look in the room, as the monks are being trained, you see you see like a human who's currently sitting in the middle of the pool trying not to move, and he's having very much the same problems you were.
That's real. But really, and just spend a little time with my instructor, and just otherwise, really just Ollie. Free time is new to Ollie at this point. Like, she worked really hard on monk training, and she's not really sure what to do with herself. So she spends a lot of time. I think wandering around, exploring different corners of the guild that she didn't get a chance to look into before, but not really looking for anything in particular. Kind of bopping around, looking at stuff.
Okay. Where are roll me percentile
Starting
check.
from the monk area, because that's where she was.
Sure.
Sorry, what did you ask for?
Percentile.
Percentile. Okay.
If you get over a 60, something happens.
I don't.
No,
That's
okay.
24.
So you kind of wander about, and you see the other training rooms. You kind of poke into one, and you see, like, you open the door, and it's like you're looking at a forest, and you see, like, a half-orc woman teaching a very incompetent-looking person how to shoot a bow. You kind of look through a next one, and you see Treat, who actually has a couple clerics that he's teaching right now.
Hey, he's got students.
Yes. He does not even look
Awesome.
over and notice you. You do look in on
Cool.
the Goliath fighter instructor. He has his feet up on a desk, and he's drinking something. When you open the door, you kind of catch him off guard, and he's like, oh, you're not a student.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to startle you.
It's
poking
okay.
around.
Do you go in or do you leave?
Sure, I'll step in. Why not?
Okay,
I'll say hello.
he's like, the chair's like on the verge of falling over, and he's trying to get himself back up
Balancing.
onto his feet. Just having a bit of a break, as, what can I do for you, Ollie?
Oh, I was really just exploring. I haven't really had a lot of time to just around monk training was pretty intensive. So I didn't really have a lot of, whenever I wasn't working, I was basically sleeping or or eating. So now that we're back from our little adventure, I just find myself sort of at loose ends, and I was just looking around at all the other classrooms. It's fun. Things quiet here right now.
I'm not going to lie. You caught me a bit off guard. I was worried you might have a message or something.
No, nothing.
Well,
Doing.
have you ever thought of picking up, perhaps a sword or something sharper than that stick of yours?
Pretty happy with my stick.
I think how much better it would be with a big heavy thing on the end.
But then
So much.
the balance would be off then, though.
If you try to hold it like you do now, yes.
Balance is very important to me.
We could put the heavy thing on both ends?
That would be devastating.
Amazing.
It would be pretty great. But for now, at least, I think I'm all right as I
I can see you are a tough sell, but you appear to be doing fine, so I won't push it.
am.
Tell me, how is Thormir doing?
No, I've been kind of giving him space. He had a pretty tough time, but Kithmia healed him up, and I'm sure Treat helped him too. Being back at the academy has got to be
You're
good.
cutting out a few
Every other
times.
word.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Got both of those.
Yeah, I got both. Yeah, you seem to have cleared up.
Okay.
I seem to have heard a limerick of Thormir being a shish kebab.
That was yeah, that was I think there were probably more sensitive ways to our return than encouraging the bards to write song, but that's the way.
Well, Tally has been known to poke fun at everyone. Think you have disconnected?
No words.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Shit. Okay. Goddamn. All right.
Well,
I do.
hell.
I do. I think Thormir will be all right. You know, it was a rough time, and all that. But he's made of pretty sturdy stuff. I think he's going to be okay.
I would say so. He's a dwarf.
Well, not just that. I mean, we're all what we are and where we come from, but there's more to each of us. You know, he made me a thing.
Oh?
Show him the carved fist. That.
This is not so bad.
It's also a pie.
There is also a pie. I don't think I have that one on me.
I think you gave that to Morty. He kind of looks at the fist and he's I think I can see why Seka was speaking highly of him. Ah, well. Do me a favor, huh? Make sure he
What favor?
does not get himself killed.
I will do what I can.
I appreciate that. Would you like? And he's got like a tankard of ale that he's kind of raising up and offering.
Thanks, but I won't keep you any longer. It was good to catch up. I'll tell
Yes.
Thormir hello for you.
All right.
I should probably go see my teacher. Like, it crossed my mind, but I was like, I really want to get this shit made.
Sure.
It's
So
very
Ollie,
Thormir.
do you do anything else, or you just kind of poke about for your time?
Yeah, I don't really think like Ollie really. I think she's pretty relaxed at this point. 3 days, that's a lot. So I think
Okay.
I think that she doesn't have any particular goals right now, and she's mostly just
So you probably poke about and train and just kind of spend time.
keep
goofing off.
herself fit, keep herself entertained.
Okay. Vizig is happy to see you. He offers tea many times. Let's jump over to Wander.
She AFK'd.
Never mind. Thormir.
Yes.
Was there anything else you wanted to do after you made those?
I wanted to show Seka the designs and
That's
how
right.
they work.
Yeah, you messaged me that. She's impressed, though she comments that they probably wouldn't be the best against heavy armor.
Yeah. I intend these more for fleshy targets like trolls, which we also encountered along the way.
You had quite the trip.
Yeah, we did. Nearly killed one by myself. That was pretty cool.
He makes a note of the design, and then let's see. Do you spend all 3 days hanging out at the blacksmith?
No, probably first day would be making arrowheads and all that. Second day, I would have to go see Illerad. Because more than likely, Ollie would have told me at some point, hey, Illerad says hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. She said she was going to.
I'll make my way over to the fighters class.
Okay. You do see that when you step in, there are a couple that are sparring in the back of the room, and Illerad is kind of watching them over the pit.
I'll walk up behind him.
Good afternoon, Thormir.
Good afternoon, Illerad.
I see you are walking with a bit of a hobble.
Yeah, having your muscles shredded by a false hydra will do that.
Well, I'm glad to see that you made it out okay.
You and me both.
So tell me, how big was it?
You know the third steeple on the west wing?
Yes.
About that and another 20 feet.
And I am glad that you have returned.
Yeah, those things were terrifying. I don't ever want to see that again. Ever.
I can understand that sentiment.
Yeah.
I am afraid, as a contractor, it is possible that you will have to fight such terrifying monstrosities every so often, but I cannot guarantee you won't.
Yeah. It's not so much the monstrosities that are with me, it was the face. His face. The eyes just ugh.
I can understand.
I made a new arrow type, and I'll show him the twist arrow.
This looks gruesome. Not in Craftsman, you did a fine job. This looks like it would be awful to be shot by.
That was the intention. In case fight gets dragged on, I don't want it to last too long.
I hope you do not intend for it to be clean.
Oh no. It's gonna be dirty.
I approve.
Thank you.
Would you like to help me teach these yokels?
But of course.
Spend some time helping him teach these recruits. And they are new people. They're obviously fresh to being fighters. So you spend some time doing that. Okay, Kith.
Yes.
We'll go back to you real quick, and then we'll hop over to Wander, and then Yor and Mori, and then we will figure out what the fuck you guys are going to do next. So, Kith, what are you doing?
I am going to read through the journals, basically looking for any mentions of Sharian, and
Wait,
maybe
who?
in the Fenlar.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And then maybe in the evenings, I'm gonna drop in to make sure Thormir's doing okay, check in with Ollie, but just like, hey.
Okay.
Mostly
Roll me
reading.
investigation. You have a lot of shit to read through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect her to get it done in 3 days, so. This is a long-term project.
Okay. Which book do you start with?
Which one comes first chronologically?
That would be of the Red Bloods.
And I guess what I would try to do is look at the back of the book, like where the dates end. Does it overlap the date period I'm looking for? If that group, say, got disbanded or killed before that date even happened, then there's no reason to...
Oh, I would say it's a little bit before.
Alright, so I will skip to the next one.
Okay, the next one will be Volume 7. For Team 7.
Team 7, alright. I'll start with that one, I guess, and I'll try to skim through by date, because I know the date. So,
whoever was the chronicler in Team 7 was not the most specific person.
Yeah.
And some of their notes appear to have been torn out. Some of them have little sketches. Some of them do not make any sense. And some of them are literally the chronicler talking about how attractive he thinks the other crew members of his team are, or how annoying
well,
certain members of them are.
My notes.
Dang it, Jeff.
It looks like this chronicle was more used as a personal journal than it was actually a chronicle of history. That being said, 13, you do find a few notable instances, specifically of Farian. You find a job that he went on where they had to take a feather ship up to Zephyr. And they had to arrange a deal with a pair of cloud giants who were upset about something. The note doesn't really make sense here. It says something about Ghoulian, which that word doesn't make any sense to you. You think it might be a name or an object? You don't know.
With a G?
Yes. But you do notice that they were dealing with some undead, and Femlar handled that, is what the journal says. Later on, you find another instance where he's mentioned where Fenlar was the one responsible for dealing with an upset mayor across the in the island of Peripatea, which is kind of a big swampland. Is what these notes look like it's saying, is that it's a pretty terrible place to visit, kind of like a marsh, and the city was dealing with some sort of problem, and the mayor seemed to be the cause of it, though Fenlar took care of it, apparently single-handedly. And then there's the mention that you think ties to what happened with you. Though it is from the contractor's description, it's not as specific as you remember. It's not even close. The journal just mentions that they found a necromancer, and the necromancer managed to escape.
That sucks. All right.
You do notice that it says, the journal says that Fenlar was particularly upset about this. And that he basically kind of forced the team to pursue them for several days, it looks like. And then they received the summons to return back to headquarters. That's what you get from that journal entry. And then after that, with that 13, you do find a couple more instances over the period of time you're spending researching, where he keeps bringing it up.
Bringing what up?
The escaped necromancer. It is written in the chronicle that Fenlar is upset about this necromancer, and he keeps wanting to go pursue it. And a couple times when they've had time off, Fenlar has left the country.
All right. I'm sure that's probably most of my 3 days.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit to read through, and a couple times you come across an entry where you think it's going to give you something, so you read the whole thing, and it's just fucking nonsense.
I take some personal mental notes about maybe making my own journal a little more concise for future people.
feel bad
Okay.
for the next person that wants to look through that.
Oh God.
At the
Well,
end
we'll
of the
be
book,
dead,
is
so-
Fenlar still with the group or is he gone?
You see when you flip to the back of the book, there's no mention of Fenlar. So you think at some point he left earlier.
Okay.
You might have to search through the book a little bit to see when he joined or
All
when
right.
he left.
That'll be another day, I'm guessing.
Then you said you were going to do what?
I was gonna check in on Thormir and check in with Ollie. Just normal, friend stuff.
Eventually, you do find Thormir, and he's like in the fighters' training room. He's taking to helping Illarad train people to
That's
Heart.
cool. I won't bug him if he seems happy, busy.
He's at least busy.
I'll just let him know I was saying hi, making sure he's doing okay, and fun.
Okay. Wander,
Yes.
what you up to?
Wander's gonna be kind of like Ollie. She doesn't really know what to do with herself. So I imagine what she would do would be to spend some time, practicing shooting, go visit her instructor, help out with any of the recruits that are there just to do something that's helpful, and kind of wander around and explore a little bit. Eventually, she would probably end up checking out the library since everyone seems to be there all the time. Not necessarily to look for anything, but I mentioned this when you went away. If she heard Tabernac telling people stories, she would basically just gravitate towards him because that's what they used to do when she was young, is just sit and listen to stories. So she would probably just listen to him tell stories all day long if she could.
Okay.
Which I think he would like. But yeah, just kind of
For certain.
just kind of hanging out, just relaxing and not really worrying about anything and looking around.
Okay. So for the time, your half-orc trainer, the woman named Triss, she's happy to see you, as it's been a while since you stopped in.
Yeah.
When you begin going for your shooting, it's basically, again, it's just like a huge, the door opens and it's a big open space, basically, with a lot of targets set up and then forest. And this doesn't quite look like the forest behind the Marigard Academy. You don't really know where this is. Maybe it's a little like a jump to somewhere else. Maybe it's part of the academy. You don't know. What you do know is the half-orc trainer named Triss, when she first met you, you were perhaps a little caught off guard by the strange place, but now it's all second nature. And you watch as she is teaching a couple new recruits, one of them clearly a wood elf, who appears to be doing just fine, and the other is a gnome, who is having a much harder time. So if you want to choose, you can maybe help her with them, or you could practice your own shit, or you could...
Yeah, I would help her with them, especially with the gnome, if he or she is having trouble.
Gnome is coming with the problem that a bow that is proper size for him, it does not have very much range.
Yeah, that would be an issue.
So he's having to aim really high.
Aw, poor guy.
And you see that Triss, you should pray. He's like and then he's like, take a shot and a miss, and she's like, no, try and then he takes another shot and it misses, and
Aww.
eventually Triss is like, okay.
We get it.
And then Triss is trying to get him to try a crossbow or a musket or anything else.
That's what I was going to suggest.
He keeps trying to use.
Maybe he should try a crossbow, because he's
or
always going to
musket.
have that issue with a regular bow. He's gonna
Roll me a persuasion check, because this gnome is apparently very stubborn.
Yeah, I have 0 persuasion. Let's see how this works.
Does this world not have recurves?
It's not that they don't. It's that
He's a gnome.
he's tiny. He's a tiny gnome.
Yes.
Well, recurve bows are essentially long bows that are shortened down to a short bow,
Yeah.
A 13. That's
but
that's
with the power of a long bow.
it wouldn't have the power of a longbow. especially considering he's like 3 feet tall.
He would have to have like a half-size recurve bow.
That's something.
He's about the height of a regular recurve.
A 13.
Right.
Over some time, you show him that it does not make him any less of a man to use a crossbow. You get the impression that he's very like prideful, and it's he wants to be able to use the bow because that's what everyone else is using right now. But eventually, you get the point across that using a crossbow will probably be easier on him, and he like kind of takes one look at the musket and is like,
That'll blow me backwards.
That could be possible. Yeah.
Oh God.
No, he
Oh,
will.
if this ever goes to Thormir, he's going to want to make pulley systems.
Okay.
Damn it, Thormir! You and your creativity.
If you
Hey,
want
that's
to make a
good.
compound bow, that's going to be difficult. So you spent some time assisting Triss, and it goes smoothly. You perhaps have a good time teaching these new people how to be how the Rangers do, and you have your own flavor of sort of things that you want to hunt, how you deal with the forest, and each of them has their own. It's clear the gnome is like from the mountains and is very much out of place in the forest. So like you like hop up a tree and the gnome's looking up at you like, what?
Ow.
Take some time, perhaps, as patiently as you can. But it is a good expenditure of your time.
Cool. That's good.
It is coming close to the end of your free time.
As it gets later, Yor would stop his search, and after most likely just taking down notes in his own little journal of what he could find, whatever that may be, he just heads back to his room, sits on his bed, and he's just going to focus more on just getting as much sleep as possible, given the last 2 days have just been running and then walking.
Okay. As basically like as soon as you like settle down and start to relax, you kind of feel yourself a little bit not excited, but unable to settle as you hear a voice say, "Oh, that was fun."
Is the voice coming from around me, or is it
No,
my
it's
head?
it's Otenek.
Okay. You sounded a bit raspier than usual, so it was spooked. It's like, fun is a word that you could use for it.
I thought it was exciting.
I mean, staring down the gaunt face of a false Hydra and then burning a bridge to get away from it, I guess is exciting, yeah.
On the grand scheme of things, that's a pretty terrible way to go.
Yeah, it is, but at least now someone's going to be able to deal with it before it gets any worse.
Will they?
I can be a pessimist all I want, but still going to hope for the best.
That's what I'm here for.
Well, we have another 2 days. I'm sure to find something at least while I'm here. Library's large enough.
That stickiness in the forest. That going to be common? Will they question you?
I mean, if I keep acting like an asshole, probably, but I just need to get used to talking instead of ordering.
You have the brain for it.
Yeah.
I can help.
I know you can. I know. And if I need it, I will ask. Which might be soon, if I don't get practice in as it were.
Then you might want to take your head out of those books and go.
All right. Now,
You can always talk to me.
you cut out there for a bit. What did they say?
I said, you can always talk to me.
Right.
What? Am I not good enough company?
No, it's just that I forget sometimes that you're there. I'm just used to being alone, so it's a new feeling. The company, I mean.
Well, when you need the aid, I'll be waiting.
Thank you.
And the voice goes quiet. Okay, Maury, was there anything else you wanted to do before the time is up?
Sleep. That's about it.
Okay, you sleep. I do believe that was 2 turns for everybody, and so we shall end the downtime. Or forever hold your peace. Was there anything else? Going once, going twice. 3 days are up. You guys wake up on the 4th day. You planning to go back to work. And on that note, we will take a 10-minute bio break.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey!
Also, you mixed it up with the voice this time. It's actually spooked me. God damn it.
Yeah, things change.
I know.
Oh. Laundry.
Laundry.
Oh,
It's not really music, more just ambience.
still don't hear it.
Probably because it's very quiet. Because it's
I have
ambience.
to turn it way up.
I can hear it
Windy.
fine.
Windy. Well, the
That
music
sounds
really
like the
distracts
crackling
me.
of a fire.
I have to turn it way down usually. I really like how Lusum is going around power washing people's places.
Amazing.
He washes people's hair, and it's nice.
It's like shoe shining, only it's a full body shine. Wait,
I think they call it a shower.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not
Had-
that they have showers and stuff, you know.
I mean, who knows? Everyone in like the Marigard could have like water
have
heaters,
plumbing.
but it just imagine like a water heater, but it's just like it's just a portal that goes from the elemental plane of water to the elemental plane of fire. So there's just hot water
Nice.
just continuously filling it,
Sounds good to me.
and then
It will?
every so often a small elemental will pop through and then blow the pipes out.
That would be a little intimidating. You're in the middle of washing your hair, and an elemental pops out.
No, like, I mean, it would basically be like winter. It's just like a water elemental's like, hey, it's too hot in here. Freezes all the pipes.
That would suck.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Frozen pipes is
Yup,
nothing to
yup,
sneeze at.
No, it ain't. Modern problems require modern solutions. Meteor swarm, said elemental.
Oh,
I think that
learned
might
about
be
meteor swarm.
overkill. Yeah,
Nah.
yeah, you do. Damn it, Francis.
Francis.
But
That was
Francis
her,
was so memorable.
I know.
Her previous character.
How was I supposed to know that my power jumped that far?
Touche. Gotta love
Cool.
how I had to make notes on my own backstory so I remember shit.
Who else but Francis?
Yeah, currently in our haversack we have 110 GP.
Nice.
Uh,
You should buy a few
20
potions for the party.
I did with my personal money.
But you should use the party money. That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
This is Thormir's way. 20 twisted
Thormir.
arrowheads. They heal for half, that's a note. 2 minor healing potions, a Fletcher's kit, and materials for 50 arrows and 25 bolts. Is there anything else that people said that they wanted to throw in there?
Extra clothing.
Okie doke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, extra clothing would be nice.
Extra clothing would be
Clothing.
good.
Just in case.
Or
You know, just in case someone gets their legs shredded.
party, yeah.
These
Oh.
January
Maybe
It could
pants.
happen.
Maybe a pack of cards, a board game.
Ooh,
You
dragon
seem to get
chest.
really bored on trips.
Yeah. I was gonna say we could always just get like a dragon chest set.
Card deck.
For dragon chest.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hi,
Starscream, welcome back. We missed you.
I like how the phrase "oh no" has been synonymous with Ollie going robot.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Better.
only ever
Welcome
say
back,
it
Starscream.
when that happens.
I don't know. I feel like at some point we're gonna get to a point in the story where Ollie gets replaced with like a warforged that's just made to look exactly like a tiny halfling monk, and we're gonna be very confused.
The thing about it is that Warforged don't exist in this world. I asked Echo because I was thinking about
Yeah.
playing one as a backup character.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, that's a bummer. But yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, considering this,
Marigard could
You sort of
make
need the thematic support for them.
yeah, because I think
You need
Warforged
the
are like
Yeah.
the culmination of divine and arcane.
Yeah, they are very ancient and very, very confusing kettles of fish.
Wait, why do you have
kettles of fish?
Yeah,
What?
You said that's an interesting kettle of fish.
Oh, leave him alone.
I think that might have been the point behind it, because that was a confusing statement, as is.
You've never heard? Have you
Maybe,
never
but I
heard
doubt
this
it. I know
phrasing?
him.
Have you-
I believe our reactions were
Okay.
quite
Okay.
indicative of
Okay.
how much we knew about that phrasing.
Okay. Persisi, have you heard that? Have you ever heard that phrasing before?
I have.
Probably. I don't know. It didn't jump
That's
out
a
at
fine
me.
kettle of fish.
I think so.
Yeah.
It didn't really catch my attention.
Y'all are weird.
But I
You're-
mess up expressions all the time, so I don't.
It's not that we're
hold it
weird.
against
It's just
people.
that you're young.
I'm older than you.
I'm
Yeah,
younger
are-
than you.
Wait. Okay. How old is Thormir and how old they're Balti?
I'm 20.
I'm younger than you
I'm
by like 6
22.
months.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
Okay,
Apparently, I'm a
that's who it
baby
was, I was
boomer,
thinking.
so I guess I'm just ancient.
Hey, not
I
answer,
am
please.
19.
Shut your blue butt up.
But
Don't make me wash your hair and then freeze your hair. Your hair doesn't count as a living thing.
No, but I
I
mean that is true. But then I have a weapon to stab you with because
maybe
you did
he's
that.
got head lice. There's
I
living
can-
beings in there.
I can bludgeon you with my hair. I could pull a Jimmy. I can pull a Jimmy Neutron and just headbutt you into oblivion with my
All right,
hair.
Fudgehead, calm down.
Yes, you could, but then I could just unfreeze your water. Your hair.
Yes.
Definitely pack some board games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
actual
got a
games.
card deck in there.
Card deck, dragon chest, whatever.
I'm sorry, are we talking about freezing things?
Yes, Elsa.
freeze met
Yes,
his
we
hair.
are.
Maybe some freeze-dried blueberries. Do those exist?
I mean, you could technically just
For the
pick.
I mean,
dragon?
they probably
No, she
have
likes
dried
apple
fruit.
pie.
Ooh,
Get-
ooh,
yeah.
ooh, 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 ooh.
What?
So, you know how we can decorate our doors in Marigard?
Yeah.
We should
We're
do.
gonna decorate our doors.
We
No, you
can if we
can.
want to.
Is this
I
a
want
thing that
to.
came up when I was AFK?
No,
lot of things
it
came
was
up
a
with-
thing when we got our rooms.
When we
Yeah, a
first
lot-
got our roofs, they said some of the doors were decorated.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we
I
could
want.
make little.
Yeah, I've had this idea for a while, but I want to get some like never melt ice or something equivalent to that, and just like shape it around the door and make it all like cool looking.
You want to know what you need for that?
Money.
Money.
I'm gonna get a paper bag and cut out little red hearts and yellow stars, and hang it up. Anybody wants to leave me
And red balloons. Me lucky
Right.
charms.
smiley faces?
I think Dormir, wow.
Dumbledore.
I think Dormir's just gonna like put iron reinforcings, make it look more like a bunker.
Yor would probably put that little plate that says Nightfall Team Leader or whatever.
Commander.
That Nightfall Commander. And then you put it up, look at it, then you take out like a little carving knife from his pack and you just put in training underneath it.
Aww,
Oh no.
That's awesome,
that's
buddy.
adorable.
That's awesome. I approve. I approve of this message.
Ugh.
Yeah. Now that I do think about it, I don't think any of us have like truly, like even out of character, like gone into each other's backstories. We have no
I've
idea.
told you guys mine, right?
I know your backstory in depth.
Yes, because you're
Yeah.
the one who was the creative influence on it.
Chatty Cathy.
Well, I was
Do-
debating pulling somebody into my backstory, but then he was like, and your 2 days are up, so that's okay.
Well,
I mean, while Echo's gone, do we want to talk about it?
I mean, to be completely honest, I thought he was gonna do each day just so we could, get through it somewhat quickly. But
That's why I wanted to catch up with Ollie, but
we could always just talk about it, like
is
if we
Ollie
can. but,
around? Ollie?
What?
If
Huh?
Kit came to talk to her, would she be around?
Her? I mean, she was. You heard what I did during my adventure. It was not really much of
Well-
anything happening.
She'll slap down the big thick ass journal and be like, look! This is the group that came to the city all that time ago. And look at the
Okay.
shitty notes this person made.
This is why it's a good thing that I don't take notes.
And then I'll give you the highlights of what I found out.
Okay.
Okay. Just in case anything happens to me, you're gonna have to pick up where I left off.
I am a terrible choice for doing that, so nothing should have better happen to you.
Well, who should I talk to then? Nobody else is gonna care.
Somebody who could spell.
I think the only other person in the party that like takes notes is Thormir.
Yeah.
Maybe Wander. I think Wander does too.
I'll talk to Wander.
Out of character take notes sometimes.
Oh.
I wonder who else in the party carries around books and parchments and constantly is
Oh,
writing about
yeah.
stuff.
Touche.
This was more
There
about who
couldn't
would care
possibly be
about
anyone.
Kithmia's personal issues, less about who takes notes. Character.
Wander would probably
Yeah, I mean, I
care.
care about your issues.
I mean,
it's that,
I have read.
like, I'm
I
not
have
very
read
smart.
Kith's backstory that you have on the other
Did
site.
read it?
Yeah, because
Oh, I didn't
you
know
posted
you had it
yours
up.
on Scabbard.
Oh right.
I put Wanders in there too.
Gotta go
Oh,
look
I
at
should
it.
probably.
That's
put
what
Wander
everybody should
in
just
there.
go put their backstory on their character's page on Scabbard.
I mean, I put a
Yeah,
vague,
we really should.
I put a vague summary of mine, and that's mostly just because people need to ask about it. I'm not just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
mine also pertains to possible future events, so like I can't. So
I mean, unless we're going to Northern Nosfadania, ain't nothing happening with
That's-
Thormir.
that's-
I'm
very-
gonna go find Wander.
Hopefully, we never go to Southern Nosfadania.
Yeah. So, my entire character's bio is on his character thing already.
Yeah, but we can't read those on Beyond.
Yeah.
No,
D&D
I mean
Beyond?
on Scabbard.
Oh, on
It's
Scabbard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have returned.
Welcome back.
Hey, it is here.
Hey,
Cool.
Echo, I want to do one more thing before the time passes.
Okay.
I want to go find Wander. I have to have a personal conversation with her.
Okay, you find Wander.
Wander,
Hello.
are you
Hi.
busy?
No.
I need to talk to you about something.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I love Ollie to death, but I'm not quite sure that she will follow up on it quite to the level that it would need if anything happened to me.
Okay.
Not that I don't think she would try, but reading's not her thing, and I love her to death. Not her thing.
Dumb
No
as a fox.
offense to Ollie. She's hopefully not standing behind me, but she could be because she's a monk. She could sneak right up on me. So anyway,
I don't think she is.
there's this person I'm trying to track down, and it's really, really important to me. So
Okay.
I don't want to like give you the whole sob story, but basically it's a necromancer from a long time ago, came to our city and messed with a lot of people, and only real thing I have to go on right now on who that was is this other person that was part of a Merryguard group that was there named Sharian Fenlar. So I'm just going to give you a copy of the notes that I found on Sharian so far that I'm looking into, which is
Okay.
basically just from the journal of the group that was in at the time. So
Alright.
here you go. That's it.
Okay,
Thanks.
can do.
I'm gonna go.
All right.
There, done.
Okay.
Not awkward at all.
So, you guys awaken the morning of the 4th day. Collect, and it is now not... Purse doesn't care, nobody else does, but you guys decided that you were to collect a job or get back to work today. So,
Yep.
what is the plan?
That was the plan.
As soon as he wakes up, he's just going to make sure. He's just gonna go to Persh almost immediately. Not 6 a.m., like 8:30-ish.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm not
So-
gonna pull that shit on him again.
Alright, so Persh is alert and he's working on some papers, and when you approach, he's... Morning, Yor.
Morning. I was looking to look at what you had for jobs available, at least. Yeah.
Getting back on the horse? Okay.
Yeah. 3 days seemed like enough for everyone.
Understandable. Okay, let's see what we have here. And he pulls open another folder, and he begins looking through it. He says, let's see, appropriate for the Nightfalls. I have options. See, you can have pick of the litter here. We
Okay.
need some investigating. That one's across the pond. You'll have to go to Theris for that one.
There's.
Then
At the mention of Sarah's, Kith's eyes get huge. Like,
Like,
can we go there?
none of y'all are there, so
Question.
I don't think I'm there.
no.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Are we there? Can we?
Yeah, we're.
Yours said he was doing that first thing in the morning. It's really up to you guys if you went with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
My only
It is
plan
a-
this morning is to return a book. So
It would be in my interest to have input on where we might go.
I mean, you're the Arcanist. I mean, you and the Chronicle are kind of the info people.
Well, there is an investigation on the verge of the Dead Plains in Ceres. There is what looks like we received a missive on a shipwreck coming from the south side of Hope Shores. I don't know if that's really appropriate for the Nightfalls. That might be something else. That is, I'll leave that as an option, but take that one with a grain of salt. We require some reconnaissance. Peripetea. Dryden. There is a group looking for escort to leave Undertow. I don't really... That one's a bit vague. And then closer on the home front, there is a group wanting contractor escorts for a foray into the Sunken Forge. Aurelia.
The Sunken Forge.
we're already in Aurelia.
Yeah.
So you have some choices here. You can take the voyage across Crystal Ocean to Ceres. You can take another voyage less far to Hope Shores and mount a small rescue. Or you can take another long voyage to Peripetea. Or you could take a voyage to Terracona and then a ride on the gondola up to Undertow. Or you can take the land trip north through the deserts to...
How far away is actually? Keen mind. What did where did Kith say that necromancer was rummaging around in by chance? I don't specifically remember.
Mind. She said it. It's not... There was a few places he was rummaging
Am I
around.
just standing there? Because I could
Yes.
just tell you.
Like, I thought were you returning the book, or you?
I
like,
said it was,
doing-
yeah, Kith was returning the book, and also I said it was up to you guys if you're there.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm quite
Sure, I
curious
could
about
be
that
walking
Sunken
up with the
Forge.
book right now.
I mean,
Hey,
you
Persh,
can.
I got one of the books to give back.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the prompt
Hey.
response with that.
Hey, guys.
Howdy.
So how long? So how long would that first contract take? But in terms of voyage length, I guess.
Which? Saris?
Yes, the Ceres one.
It's going to be by ship probably a month.
And there's no time limit on any of these, or is there?
There's no. If should you take any of these jobs, there's not going to be any time frame. The rescue one, obviously, you'd want to get there as soon as possible, but for actual
A
completion of the
rescue
job,
quest?
it's not really a. They require pickup. We have a couple teams to look at that one. You guys are on the list as possibles, so you
Right.
could.
Rescuing who?
It looks like a small crew landed on Hope Shores and then had a misunderstanding. This does not make a whole lot of sense.
Let me see the map.
That one's
Usum's
that's good
asking
too.
for the map.
Yeah, remember what happened last time we took a job that didn't make a lot of sense, guys?
So, out of
Yeah.
character, the map is not actually complete, but I will post what is there.
Okay.
What I've been trying to say is, if we take the one that goes to Trident, that's my home turf. I think we all have a quest going back to where
The
we
only
came
one
from, right?
none of you are from Ceres, and none of you from Undertow, and none of you are from Hope Shores.
Well,
Right.
okay.
But a lot of them, there are many of you from
Nostradania.
Southern
Yeah.
Arbara. I think there's one of you from Arbara. A lot of you from Nostradania. There's a few of you from Triton,
I think a majority of the group is from Nostradania, honestly.
Yes.
which is weird because I was like, you guys probably won't be from Nostradania. I'm wrong.
I just like the sound of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same.
I mean, 3 of us are from Trident.
Yeah, at least 2.
Like 2 from
So-
Triton, 1 from Arbora, and like 3 or 4 from frickin' Nosfadania.
Minimum 3, I know that.
Oh,
Minimum
good.
3.
I tried to upload the world map and it broke.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Eek.
Well-
Post it in Discord.
Map machine broke.
Too big to post to the Discord.
Damn.
Just kidding. Hang on.
Well, actually, technically, some of them are.
That's
I would
true.
Mhm.
This one is not.
Dropbox link. But I don't know which one to paste because some of them are forbidden.
Forbidden? Like
Mhm.
Discord blocks them, or they're like NSFW?
Like I'm not allowed to show you guys.
Oh, okay.
By the DM.
I signed a non-disclosure.
Hey, I'm gonna slide you $20,000.
God damn it, Discord. 8 megabytes is not that big.
8
Told ya.
megabytes.
I posted something earlier that was 8.6 megabytes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Nitro?
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
crap.
Why?
Well, I don't want to pay for Nitro.
Okay,
Just a
but
post
if
of
you
the
want,
map.
you can like email it to me and I can post it.
It's in my DMs, right?
What?
The link
Link
for the
to
map.
what?
The map's changed.
I'll post it.
Oh.
We're getting a more detailed one.
That's why I
Yep.
can't share it because I don't know which version.
I think just like a
Um,
rough outline of the world map could work, but
Yeah.
There we go. That's the one I was looking for. It's found it.
There's a lot of versions.
Yes. Here is the vague version. Which is kind of what your characters would know.
Oh, that one.
This
That's
is
the
like
one
the
that I
very
have.
bare bones.
Yeah, that's. Doesn't show
There-
us where Hope Shore is or any of that.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Hope Shore is
Oh,
literally in the
Like
middle.
right in the center.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
see.
the islands.
good job.
Like it.
The one that looks like Africa and Australia put together.
It does.
I guess.
Kind of.
It's like
Pretty
it's
close.
it's
With like a
kinda-
little
Okay.
nubbin sticking out.
I
That's
think it
something.
might be worth our while to stick with Aurelia for now, or something closer. Just it's a travel time, and we're still
yeah, travel
getting
time.
experience and
The Sunken Forge is on this continent, right?
Yeah, it's
It
really
is.
close
Yeah,
to
it's on
us.
Aurelia.
It's north of really. It's not close, but it's there.
All right.
That sounds
like-
fun.
So
twice as far
we
away
have
as the last
so
one.
we have the investigation in Ceres, we have the rescue on Hope Shore, and we have the expedition into the Sunken Forge in Aurelia. What else do we have?
There's the expedition Sunken Forge. There's the shipwreck on Hope Shores. There's the investigation required in Dead Plains in the Scar and Ceres. There is the quote unquote rescue from Undertow, and then there is the assistance in Parapet and not in Triton.
The
The
rescue
good
is more
part
like a
of
fetch quest.
Too.
The rescue sounds more like a fetch quest.
Yeah,
than
but you
Undertow,
do
yeah.
get to ride on a gondola, which is exciting.
Yes.
You don't. I can't.
Lucian was afraid of heights.
Roll me a wisdom check. Are any of you from near Tarracona? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Ollie,
No.
Ollie, and Kith. Roll me a straight intelligence. See if you've heard of this.
Great intelligence. Oh.
Yeah. You are exposed to sailors
Intelligence.
pretty often, so you might have heard of this.
Damn. I really wish
Might.
I had heard of it because I have feelings.
Feelings.
Yes.
Nope.
Yikes.
You
I know
guys-
out of character.
You guys don't know anything about it. You could ask.
I don't know shit.
Sure. Sounds fun.
Could I have heard stories from adventurers?
Oh man. You roll me a history, but the DC is going to be real high
Oh, biscuits.
because
My
you
histories.
don't live close at all.
So
Well,
your
no, I was just wondering if I had heard stories of it.
so yours going to just speak up. What do you mean gondola ride, if I may ask?
The only way to get to Undertow is aboard the Dragon's Gondola, which is not my favorite idea of travel. It's a giant gondola that connects from a city on Tarracona to the capital of Undertow, and it's like 100 miles of rope. And
You know
there's
what?
a gondola hanging from it. It's magical, but that does not make me not nervous about it.
So it's basically just a large lift.
Hey,
That just
yes, it's
I'm
a
not
gondola.
keen on this one.
Me neither.
I'm not
Let's
either.
not do this one.
No one has died on it. It's been around for hundreds
Yeah.
of years, but it's not reassuring.
okay. When you say 100 years, do you mean
No, hundreds.
hundreds?
Hundreds. It's been around since before I was alive.
Okay. Does it get maintenance? Is what I'm asking.
I
Is that-
am not on their maintaining staff. I do not know.
What?
I know. I'm
This,
just.
this is all formalities, guys.
Okay, we don't want to
I
do
know.
this one. Okay,
Yeah,
we're voting
let's-
against this
let's-
one.
Let's
Okay,
Yeah, no.
I'll
not
put
narrow
the
down.
next.
let's put yeah. That's
No
that one's
to
off.
Undertow.
Okay.
I don't want to do that
That's
one.
a shame. I hear it is beautiful up there.
Up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I kinda
the
wanna go there,
floating-
but-
the floating continent you see on the horizon, Undertow's on the bottom.
Oh. Oh.
Very
that-
cool
Okay.
and terrifying, I guess.
That makes it slightly better, but also slightly
More terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look at the ticket here. You'd board the ship. You'd land at Taka, the hero's landing, and then you'd board the Dragon's Gondola, and you'd land in Sithicus, the Hanging City, 3 days later.
It's a 3-day gondola ride? Fuck no.
Well, yeah, it goes
No,
up for
I'm-
100
You
miles.
can leave me behind if you go.
Yeah. Let's
Honestly,
let's maybe not.
Honestly, it sounds super awesome, but I'm not
Okay,
gonna
we have a
challenge
robot
anybody
engine.
else's.
Oh no.
Warforged were just created.
Oh no.
Damn
Oh
it.
god, it's like the Terminator situation.
All
Coming
I
from the
heard was,
future.
it sounds super awful, and we definitely don't want to do that.
That's the opposite of what I was saying.
No,
I've,
no,
I've,
no, no, I
I've
heard
made
that
the
too, I
note.
concur.
I've made the note.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely heard the it's awful version.
Okay, so what are we doing then instead?
Well, Hope
I really
Shore
don't think we should do Hope Shores
and
because we're
the
not
whatever
equipped
one
for
is
that.
closest.
Okay, let's just go through the list. Hope Shore sounds
Rescuing a crew?
Yeah, but we're also
It's
a
it's-
recon
it's-
team. We're
it's-
not equipped
yeah.
for that.
It's like it sounds good on paper, but it also sounds kind of vague and sketchy.
So your team designation, you are heavy recon and you are medium escort.
See?
This,
You wouldn't give it to us if we weren't prepared.
It is an option. I
like
have
the
my
idea
own
of rescuing
opinions.
people. It sounds like a good thing to do.
It is an option.
It is,
yes.
but there are also far more qualified teams for that.
Yes.
What are you guys
We are
scared
not.
of?
We could just do an
We're
escort.
not. We're just
one
not
that's
the
close
best team
in
by
the-
any means. We are heavy
Yeah.
people. We don't
Yeah.
do well in small rowboats.
Also, Kith, remember the
What?
last time that we wanted to try and rescue everyone? They
Okay,
came
let's
at
not
us
bring
with
that.
weapons.
Okay.
Let's just. My vote is for the escort.
To the
Escort
Sunken
across
Forge.
is the north.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sunken
I second
Forge.
that.
let's just go to the Sunken Forge. Everyone all agreements?
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
relatively quick.
Okay,
Easy.
you want
Okay.
to meet the expedition
Fine.
to the Sunken Forge.
Babysitting.
It's okay. You're going to be heading north. Very much so.
Acting like you've never been new on a job. Well, the
What?
small one. Just saying.
What does that mean?
This is like, I don't know. I'm just Nick,
I'm
keep
not
going.
allowed to disagree?
No, I'm making
No,
out
you're
of
not allowed
character
to
joke.
disagree.
Oh, this is you being out of character.
Oh, I thought you were in character.
This is
No.
why we have accents.
I can't do
I can't do
accents
those.
though.
I can't either. Don't feel bad.
I can be hella gay if you want me to, but
I thought
no.
it was in character. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
That just
This is my
happened.
character whose goal is to help and heal people wanting to go
Oh, God.
do the thing. That's all.
Okay, no, that's
That was
fine.
amazing.
I can't breathe.
Okay. All right. So, you are intending to Sunken Forge. Your contact is going to be a half orc by the name of Osto. You might want to write
Whoa,
that
can
down.
you spell that, please?
Oscar.
Ostol.
Astal. Okay.
Sounds like
Right.
Oscar.
He is not an asshole.
No, Ostol.
Astol.
Oh, you are trying to be funny. Sorry.
Yes.
Astol.
I missed
On a
that.
job.
Astal, that sounds-
Escorting.
That sounds about right.
Without the
This is a
Maxwell
good
around, I
night.
missed the
That does sound
joke.
about right. That does sound about right.
Okay. So you have a few choices of travel. I kind of leave it up to you. Oh, hang on, I believe my food is ready.
I think we can use small angry dogs, but like a lot of them attached to a sled.
Legit.
That's yes.
I mean, hey, if using previous campaign knowledge back in Dury, they could use dog
Yeah,
sleds
Dury.
there. Why not here? Yeah, Offram was where Olmar was.
I don't think you would use the Chihuahua even in
The thousands.
Yeah, you need 1,000 Chihuahuas.
That would
And
be
even-
awesome, though.
and
Imagine
even then
that. That'd scare
even-
anybody.
Sorry about that.
Even then, they would probably just be attacking each other.
Oh no. I just got a thought in my head of having a Chihuahua familiar, and I'm so glad for my fairy dragon.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
You had,
Oh no.
I think there was a 5% chance for any of the familiars, and you rolled a 41, and the fairy dragon was 41 to 44. So there you go.
Nice.
That's good.
There was
So
all
you might
sorts
have
of shit
murdered
on
your
that list.
familiar.
Morgan has just so far just been the group's good luck charm in keeping
Yeah.
us from dying violently.
I mean,
That
you say
and
that, but
her-
I almost pulled us into the the false hydra. So
I mean,
Yeah, when the false hydra was out, she was like, "We should go see where that goes."
it's like, hey, look, a tunnel.
I hope
Oh,
it doesn't
Okay.
eat me.
Hey,
anyway,
Yeah.
It's still
Contact
my
is
ass.
hostile. Is that a human?
it is a half orc.
You
Let
were
us
half right.
Hostile.
exactly half.
Is he
Exactly.
hostile?
no,
Pulling up. We're pulling up.
he's
the
our
map.
escort. We ate the person.
Your contact is a half orc man by the name of Ostel. You'll know him. He's the only half orc around that wears a red scarf in the fucking desert.
Oh,
One
Oh,
of
he
those
sounds-
people.
He
He's
sounds-
eccentric.
he sounds like
Yeah.
a treat.
He's a very unique person.
Oh god, I wear black. This isn't gonna be good.
Oh no, you
Wait.
are going to be very hot.
Wait, we're going to a desert?
shopping.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
The only way to get to the Sunken Forge is you have to take a bit of a walk through the dry marches, which is desert.
That's fun.
If you end up at the
Going
Crimson Peak, you've gone the wrong way.
Try marches.
The dry
desert.
marches. Yep.
Having ice powers is very good right now.
You'll
Yeah.
know that you're there when, or rather, you'll know when you're close as the desert turns into tundra.
Great.
I think we might need to cover Lusum as much as possible because he might start boiling in the sun.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's gonna be a
So,
problem.
let's go
It'll
buy
be
a bit-
cloaks and things like that.
Salt on a snail,
Hey,
sort of
Echo, can I make an ice umbrella?
thing. You can
Hey-
make one and then hold it above you, yeah.
Can I make
Yeah, that's what I
an
meant.
ice loosen?
An ice
You could
loosen.
totally freeze Lusum, but he would die.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, we could like
Sure,
use him like
you can
a
if you wanna get
toboggan
charged for
sled and
murder.
ride him through the dunes.
Oh no.
When you are ready, you can you can use the cart services to bring yourselves to the river. Once more, head north. I would suggest taking a different fork than Siren's Reach, as we don't know the status of that town just yet.
Good idea.
That is
you-
that is a very good. That's a very good idea.
You can either choose to go a bit farther east, Augur City, though that would be a little out of your way, and then go straight north, or follow a similar path as you did to Siren's Reach and instead take a left turn instead of a right at the river fork.
How about we stay away from there?
Can I vote we stay as far away as possible without leaving the continent?
Guys, let's come on now. That was way far away. Days travel. We'll be fine at the fork. We don't want to go like days out of our way.
That is.
I'll admit
true.
it was a long way, but it's still too close for my liking. I'm
Out
so
of out of
Look at the
character.
map.
acid burns on my arms. No, thank you. And I'm
Like,
pretty sure Thormir
we're going
would
to
like
here.
legs.
See?
From Ferrum, the fastest you can get to Sunken Forge is like the fastest, taking river routes, no delays, going in a straight line as possible. You'll take 2 weeks to get there.
Not
Okay.
too bad.
It's 30 feet from the river fork.
Uh,
But if we go around, oops,
I'll purchase more things for arrows
we
then.
have to go like 50 feet. See? Saying.
I mean,
You
if I-
could potentially go through the Golden Cascades by Mountain Pass, but that has its own unique problem.
Whatever's
Let's
quickest is
assume-
probably the best.
I hate that I'm
Go
saying
this
this.
way. Also 60 feet.
Take the river route, but not get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well, we get off before we ever get near Siren's Reach. That's what I'm saying. We see? We're
The
nowhere
fork
near.
in the
Okay.
river is about where the ferry house that we walked back
This,
to is,
yeah,
right?
the ferry house that you walk to is the fork.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
we already know that spot.
So we
That's,
just get
that's a day, basically,
Yeah.
from
So
the
basically,
from Siren's
yeah.
Reach to that ferry house is a day.
So
by
I'm
river.
saying we just go this way.
Straight shot essentially to.
Yeah, I
Sunken
mean we're
Forge.
like way far from Siren's Reach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if
We could even like hug the mountain way over here, you know.
That is. I mean, yeah. If we get to that second to last house, the ferry house, and we can just go up.
Yeah.
The river, because either way, we'll still be at least like. What is that?
It's
A bad line.
Yeah.
4 whole feet. Yeah, it's like way far.
We're at least staying a whole 4 feet away from Siren's Reach, and then
Right.
just getting farther away as we move. So.
And then we only have to walk 30 feet as opposed to 60 feet.
It's closer to maybe like 27, 28.
Because we'd have to walk, see? So much walking.
Yeah, and also we'd have to go over a mountain, which would
Yeah.
increase a lot of the footwear.
Yeah,
and time.
somebody would surely fall off.
Maybe.
Probably me. Or, yeah.
What?
Someone would.
I love that
Stepping
mod.
stones.
Amazing. Okay. Also, I was just gonna say, now we
Plus,
have.
look
now
at the
we-
weather. Like, it's not so hot, and then we just
Yeah.
jump over here. See?
I was
That's not so
yeah.
bad.
I mean, we'd basically be from what it looks like on the map. We'd basically just be going through floodplains until we get to the Keene
Yeah.
Delta, and then we just
And-
have to go straight from there into the Sunken Forge.
I read it as keen, too. Don't feel...
Kind.
Also, it looks
Can-
like when we cross over, it'll be a cold desert,
Yeah.
which is just
Yeah,
as
looks
bad
like
for me, but it's better than hot desert.
Yeah. It's a dry heat, they say. I don't care. It still hurts.
It's still cold.
So, I mean, those dry marches, they sound like they're really bad for Lusum.
Yeah.
We'll-
So
we'll get properly equipped. We'll be okay.
yeah.
I
just
can
really-
drink water anytime.
except for heat, so really.
Oh no!
I Starscream.
That doesn't mean he's not going to be boiling all the time.
If we go the dry marshes route, I will literally evaporate away.
So
I-
let's keep the
I have to
floodplains as
drink
much as
about
possible.
3 times as much as you do while living in Ferrum. I'm not making it through the dry marches.
But we're gonna have to go through them either way.
Yeah,
I
but
would
it's
say-
much shorter.
But we can
skip, and
definitely
it's
limit our
cooler.
time
We can take
in the desert.
a hop,
Plus-
skip, and a jog
Plus
over.
this,
We could visit the respite on our way. Maybe there's something cool there. Respite?
draw
It's gotta
is
be.
plus this area I'm about to draw is supposed to be cold desert, which, while still really bad, is a lot less evaporative than the dry marshes.
Yeah. I was
That
gonna-
line will be a lot colder because it's so close to the northern frosts.
So let's just right. So plan is, we go up the river, stop at the very last boathouse before Siren's Reach, get off, go up towards the floodplains near Kine Delta, and then hop across the thinner portion to the
Boing.
Sunken Forge. right?
Boing.
Okay.
Yes.
Like that?
Okay. Yes, like that. Also, I just realized something. You're gonna have to put little purple dots in between both the blue and green, so that we don't get lost.
Not till we start going. That's the Indiana Jones dots.
Let's
know.
assume that you guys are not,
Mm.
incompetent, and we can remember the path that we've taken.
You
I know.
overestimate my skill.
I know, but
You underestimate my intelligence.
I don't know. I like the idea of seeing a path that just has multiple different layered colors on it that all branch off at different points. Mostly
Fair.
because, you know.
It's a good collection of our adventures.
I do
Yeah.
like that part, seeing our past travels.
That is our idea, our ideal route.
That's our
That's
plan.
right. That is your plan, is to take that route.
Yep.
Okay. Very much trying to stay as cool and humid as possible.
Comfortable.
Yes.
Keep Elusum moist.
Yes, keep him
Yes,
moist. It's about
because-
moisture.
While I can summon water, it gets harder and harder and harder the drier the air is because I take water from the area around me. So
Aurelia is not the best country for you.
no, it's not.
There's
Aurelia-
a lot of
3/4
here.
desert.
Aurelia is
It's-
giving off a Mongolia vibe, now that I think about it.
There's a lot of desert.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Saris is worse. Okay.
I mean, we have normal desert. Sarah sounds like it has undead desert. Undesert.
I think of it more as Badlands.
Mm.
Lots of Badlands.
Like a mixture of like dry spots, then marshes, and then, you know, death. Lots of death.
Think about like Death Valley.
Oh,
Jonah,
yeah.
Lotosaurus.
Oh, God.
Hey, what do we know about Sunken Ford?
Roll me history.
Okay, your mic quality also went a bit weird.
Roll me a history check.
Oh, God.
May I also roll history?
You
I'm rolling. I roll history because I a smart boy.
I was hoping that, me being of the
Damn
historical and 4G persuasion would bode well, but it did not.
Listen,
Hey, I got higher with my -1.
so
Dying. Hang on. Okay, I'm good.
Did you hear any of what we were saying?
No, because I was plugging my headset in.
listen, you know the most about Sunken Forge. You know that it was a dwarven fortress a long time ago, verging on thousands of years. It was a dwarf fortress that was basically dedicated to creating relics of honor for the Red Tyrant, who was a chromatic red dragon that was basically trying to control all of the area around it. And dwarves that lived at the location that is now Sunken Forge attempted to buy his favor by creating great works of art and mining gold and all sorts of riches, and basically devoting them to the Red Dragon. Although current evidence kind of shows that didn't work, as it is a mostly destroyed and sunken ruin. Now it is known to be not a great place. Not terrifying by any means. It's mostly just thought of as a ruin. There's been rumors of cultists poking about it. There's been rumors of of hobgoblins taking up residence nearby it or in it as fortification. But apparently, if someone is going to go for an expedition, they either know something you don't, or they've figured out a loophole, or not everything is as you think it is.
Would I know if these cultists are in any way connected to the ones that gave me the potion?
You have no idea.
Cool.
You've heard of weird occult things happening. That's kind of it.
That's about as vague as you can get in a magical world such as this.
Yeah.
Hey, Persh.
Yep.
So this guy, are we just escorting him, or is it a group?
From what I understand, he and a small group. I think he said a team of 4.
What are they going up there for?
And
And are we
don't
bringing
know.
them back?
They just said they wanted an escort, which makes me think that they're going in treasure hunting or researching. Or
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, do we have to wait and bring them back, or
I would assume
like if they go in
want
there
to
and
get out safely.
killed?
Treasure hunting. Hi. Alright.
Okay.
That sounds fun.
Hey, it's the job you took. You could take a different one.
I know.
Like, are we
Sure.
required to escort them deep in there, like risking our lives if they're treasure hunting, or?
I mean, if they are actively going to get you killed, I give you leave to abandon.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying I would. I just want to understand what, like, we're, supposed to do.
I want you to perform your job to the best that your
Right.
pay
Obviously.
orders you to. I'd
No,
rather
of
have
course.
living contractors and a missing customer than a missing customer and missing contractors.
I would try to stop
But-
them.
Yeah, given our last mission, Perch, don't worry, we're gonna make sure that we're extra careful about this.
I think it's gonna be fun. I know I was kind of grumpy at first, but I'm feeling good about this.
A little
think
trip,
we'll be good.
a little trip like this would be nice. It's 90% trip, but still, it's fine.
Maybe
The
there'll be
worst
some
that'll
halflings.
happen. The worst that'll happen is you go there and there's no way in, or the customer changes his mind and you come back. That's the worst it could go, short of injury.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask them how long they want to stay there, so we pack enough food and stuff.
Right. How long of a trip would it be? I know that it'd be 2 or 3 days up the river.
I would recommend you prepare a month journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a significant portion of your time. When you get back, there will be hefty pay waiting for you, as you'll be getting paid the whole back pay for while you're gone, on top of the reward for completing the job.
Right.
Find us to get a few extra things of scroll telescription.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
You'll be issued a number with
Just
the
in
job
case.
file. I think this one you'll have 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I think.
Now, are we able to purchase extra amount from the quartermaster or no?
You can if you like. We try to provide enough for any odd circumstance.
Well, this is personal use. I need to write a letter home.
Oh. You can. It might not work quite as well as you'd hope. The
Now, just
scroll
inform
of
everyone
telescription we take these pages from are attuned to me and the other members here, so there's not an entire chance that you'll get it to where it wants to go.
Right.
Okay. I didn't know how that stuff worked. My bad.
There's a big scroll, and we assign our names on it in blood, and then those who need to send us messages, they can use it that way.
Wow.
Wait, you have to use your blood to attune to those?
Yeah, only one party does.
Right.
That's
It's
sick as
part
fuck.
of becoming an instructor here.
That's sick as fuck.
Okay, so who's gonna go talk to Ostel?
Well, I hope you all will, as he's
Right.
there.
At the Sunken Forge.
Oh, I just meant to
I'm
like go
gonna
make
go
contact with
make
them, find out when we're leaving and stuff. But
You
could all
can.
go.
He's according to the job letter we received it 2 days ago. He's going to wait for word from me for a week until he tries to find other offers. So if you take the job, he will know right away.
well, you
All right, that makes sense.
Um,
Yeah, we'll make sure to talk to them as soon as we get there. We just have to make sure that we get there. So.
Okay. Do I have you are going to take this job?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I will let him know.
Right.
I will go purchase the rations.
Right.
Okay. And because my dinner has arrived, and also there's a lot of preparing to do, we will call it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
This was a very, very good session.
It
That was a
was
fun
It
little
was a
roleplay.
interesting.
very
yeah.
planning-oriented session.
Yes, it was.
Well, it's good to know what we're doing or to pretend like we know what we're doing.
My notes are a little scattered, but that's okay.
Emphasis on pretend, Ollie.
I made weapons of
Yeah.
war.
You made. Yeah.
You made the pointy hurt things.
I know the Geneva Convention
Yes.
is more like guidelines, Stormir, but still.
Hey, at
Hey.
least it's not chemical warfare.
I made some of the town look pretty.
It's at least it's nothing like the spell heat metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's true. That is true.
Oh, you're in armor? Have a crock pot.
No.
Little
Imagine it was
bit-
a water Janashi in full plate
Janashi.
armor and you did
Janashi.
that. Janashi.
All right, I'm gonna
Ganache.
stop the
Imagine
stream.
though that my
Yeah,
back
yeah, go ahead.
character is a
Okay.